Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is In the House of Glass. It was written by Gail Clendenin, and it comes from the third issue of Bayat Al-Azif magazine. Our keeper of the secrets is John Dos Passos, and this is a one-shot. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. John?
Thank you, Tom. So we opened today. So beautiful sunny day in Ohio. We are at the Pierce Botanical Conservatory. It is well known for its has global acumen for its many array of plants. It does a number of events throughout the years, and it is notable for having all glass walls, completely glass paned. So it fully functions as a greenhouse conservatory, allowing the plants inside to thrive. And as I said, it does many events, and it is currently being set up for an art gallery of the renowned sculptor Galen Tisley. We open up in the entrance hall, which is a beautiful entrance hall. There's of course the desk, and then there is a grand staircase, as well as a side room with an elevator that lead up to the second floor balcony, where you actually begin usually the tour around the conservatory. It also, as our investigators are all entering, there's also have been placed a number of tables with champagne, looks like wine, some craft beer, charcuterie boards, little hors d'oeuvres. There's the whole little spread has been set up. And as you all arrive, you are greeted by the curator, Hayumi Oto, or Ono, sorry. And she greets you all and says, "Welcome, welcome. Yes, come in." And corrals you into a crowd around the food and drink. She looks to, of course, Hades Vandermeer and Thaddeus Winters. She looks to you two and she says, "Thank you, Mr. Vandermeer and Mr. Winters, for coming. We definitely appreciate your coverage. This is going to be a very grand event. Tisley is on the forefront of modern sculpture, or especially in glass blowing. So we thank you." Then she also, she looks to Gunnar. She says, "Mr. Gunnar, thank you so much for your contribution to this event. It couldn't be done possible without people like you." And then she looks to Downsky. She says, "Thank you, Mr. Downsky. I hear you're going to be helping Mr. Tisley with some of the work. So thank you. All hands on deck around here. You've got all sorts of stuff to set up, and he's got to be doing demonstrations all week with a number of glass blowers. So there's all that to be set up and materials to be unpacked." Then finally, she turns to you, Marie, and she says, "Oh, my Marie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come. I'm so excited for you to meet Mr. Tisley. This is going to be wonderful." If you have any questions, I'll be around for a moment, and then I'll go get Mr. Tisley. And she says as she sort of attends to the food and drinks and such.
Good to see you. Glad to be here. Place looks fantastic. You've done a fine job, as always.
Oh, thank you. We do try, yes. Is there anything else that I can get you all? Anything at all? That, like I said, we definitely appreciate all your contributions and help. So, to fine little sort of a pre-event we're doing here for you all.
No, this Perry is fine, thanks.
I'll be satisfied, and I'll raise like a wine glass.
Mm-hmm.
The fine art.
As well, wonderful then. I won't keep you then. I'll go and inform Mr. Tisley that you've all arrived, and he will come greet you here, and he can give you the grand tour himself of everything we've got set up so far. And she heads up the stairs and leaves through the mountain biome to go to where she can access the courtyard through the desert biome. So she leaves you all to meet each other and enjoy the food spread.
Well, I suppose it has to be hot in here with the walls all made of glass. At least they have some champagne.
A lot of the plants prefer it.
What time of day is it?
It's about afternoon, very nice and sunny.
Okay.
It's nice and sunny.
Hades, if you want good weather, you have to leave Ohio. You've known that for a long time.
Well, it certainly isn't bad weather. It's just hot weather.
Cold in the winter, hot in the summer.
Not so bad here, I don't think.
You'll get all the extremes.
They certainly didn't put out a lot of money for the champagne, but then they're probably, on a budget.
Pearls before swine, anyway. You know how openings are. Just rabble. And those of us who can't wait.
I've had better, but they at least seem distinguished.
Mr. Winters, I saw your last year's pictures. Fine work.
Thank you. I try my best to truly capture both a true image of life as well as making an artistic statement with it. I can only hope to further the medium.
Who's the little girl? The student. Do you know? I'm sorry, dear. What's your name?
Mari. Nice to meet you.
Mari. You're an art student.
Yes. My mom is Hayumi. So I'm helping her with this, but I'm an aspiring artist.
Do you have
really,
any particular type of
fingers
art
crossed.
that you like to do?
Painting and photography. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping to get into SCAD next year, and just hoping this experience will help with my resume and my application.
Oh, good luck. When the time comes, send me some of your work. We'll have a look at it.
Oh, thank you. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Hello, Ivan.
Hello, Mr. Vandermeer. How do you do?
I do very well, thank you.
Are you still disappointed with my work last year, like you noted in the article?
I wasn't really disappointed with it, but I'd like to see some more creativity out of you. I don't want you to just keep doing something that reflects other people's work. Find your own path and develop it. There's certainly stuff there. You certainly have the talent.
I appreciate that feedback, sir.
I don't think you need to be that nice to Hades, Mr. Dansky. A critic calling other people uncreative seems to be a bit pot, kettle, and black.
I did recall the line from Ratatouille, yes.
If you're going to bring up the subject, then one has to understand that there are people who are crafters who can make things, and there are people who can tap into that creative spirit that nobody else seems to be able to tap into. That's the big difference. There's so many artists that can copy other artists very well, but they can't seem to find their own place.
If you ask me.
I don't want to discourage you, Mr. Dansky.
Of course, I think talent is innate and hard work, but I do appreciate your comments, sir.
If you ask me, I think the interpreter is just as important as the artist.
The medium, if you will.
Indeed.
In this day and age, the person who buys your work is as important as the artist. Artist has to live. Artist has to eat.
I think that's how it's always been with patrons and then all of that.
And don't you listen to me. Look, I'm a critic. I'm here to tell rich people what's a good investment. It doesn't really have anything at all to do with creativity. It has to do with money.
Increasingly. I am just grateful for my limited capacity to appreciate things of beauty. And the good fortune of being able to afford to support them. So, Ms. Ono, what is it like to live with a profoundly creative woman?
She's inspirational, but she's hard on me. The expectations are high in the house to be creative and productive, but she pushes me in a good way.
You don't ever want to rebel and become an accountant?
Honestly, I just want to get out of Ohio. This place is, I wouldn't call it the cultural apex of anywhere.
How old are you,
You must
darling?
have a lot of potential then for her to put that much constructive pressure on you.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate it. A lot of my best work has come from her, pushing me and encouraging me. So
How old are you, darling?
17.
17.
A youngin.
Just pack up your stuff and go to New York.
That's
Or
the
LA.
plan. I've got a couple of applications out there, really crossing my fingers, hoping to get out of here.
Well, with your mother, you won't starve no matter what you're doing. So take the chance. Go to Paris.
You might also consider Providence. RISD is a very interesting place.
Mm-hmm. It's on my list along with SCAD and UT and the Stanford. I got a couple of places, but RISD and SCAD are way up there. I'm really, really hoping.
Hard work, girl. Hard work is what you need. I come from the backwoods of Kentucky. If I can be here, then I'm sure you can achieve even greater heights.
Oh,
It's an
are you also
inspiration.
from Kentucky? I'm from Louisville.
Williamstown.
Ah,
And as
I've
you're
been to
all,
Louisville a few
oh, sorry.
times.
Keep going. Sorry.
I've been to Louisville a few times. Charming city. That's all.
certainly lots of tourists.
Here's the leading question, darling. How do you feel about the artwork of Thomas Kincaid?
Is that really artwork or more like motel art?
Good, you've got potential then, but you can see that.
And yes, and speaking of art, as you're all getting to know each other and looking around, you do actually spot, because like I said, this is almost all a glass wall structure. You can see into the courtyard. It's mostly just the different plants and fauna that sort of obstruct your view of looking too deeply into the other rooms. But you can see over there's a little koi pond. You can see that there is a 3-walled structure that's been set up in the courtyard to see the sort of improvised hot shop that Tisley's been working in. And you even might notice him walking out of it and then walking back in. And there's plumes of smoke coming out of it as surely more work is being done. As you're all speaking. And in fact, as you're also looking around, if you are interested, you can go ahead and give me an art roll to identify them. You see a large array of sculptures and different art pieces, even from this front room. As you're looking around, you sort of notice that the entrance is on the second floor, and as you look up, you almost didn't notice it at first because of the high ceiling given the balcony level above you, but above you is one of these works, one of the glass sculptures. It has these many, different arms and different stalks of red and yellow and all these different colors. This wonderfully crafted thing, almost probably 12 foot long, sort of, kind of daunting how high it is above you, and how big this building is. And so, did anybody? What do we got on art rolls?
Hard success.
Yeah, with a hard success, Downsky, you would know for sure. This is definitely one of Tisley's work. One of his recent ones he's been famous for. He's done a number of these sort of crazy chandeliers. He has a number of work that is like this, but that's particularly one of the things he's been known for. That a number of his chandeliers have hit the market. They are selling for thousands of dollars. And do anybody else get a success in the art roll?
Question: when you say getting art, I have photography, but nothing else. Does that work?
You could roll that here. Yeah, this is a general art roll. So any art you might get something a little different because of that. But so
I got a hard pass.
Okay, yeah. So and then so you would also notice the chandelier, and you and Ono and Vandermeer, you also notice that in the courtyard there's also some blue stalks of glass of what look like sort of kind of like imitation flowers, but not quite flowers. Just the tips of these peeking over. More of Tisley's work that you identify. And these are like just the things that you can see from the front room.
Mr. Tisley's time in the hot shop shows. He paid his dues for sure.
Quite excellent glasswork. I could take so
Tisley
many wonderful photos.
Tisley has something about his work that I'm not sure I like, but at the same time, it intrigues me very much. It's that creative essence that I was talking about. I'm not sure how well it will sound, but it's there. It's definitely there. There's definitely a market for that sort of thing.
To me, it's the delicacy of it all.
Don't you?
You're enduring blatant heat, and yet you're crafting something that delicate. There's joy in that, at least for me.
Do you do blown glass sculpture downstream?
I do.
You do.
Sculpture and glass blowing. Although as a medium, glass is fickle.
And as you are talking, you notice it has been a little while since Hayumi left you. It's been about 15, 20 minutes already. And no sign of her or Tissily yet. And you don't see him, you don't see him walking around out there from this angle.
But it looks like he's working on his pieces.
I mean, it looked like he was, it looked like he was working earlier. And there is still smoke coming out of from the hot shop, but he was supposed to come meet you.
Did Hayumi go into the hot shop to fetch him?
You didn't see from this angle, but she did go into the mountain biome. So
a man buys wine and food and doesn't dine with us. Improper.
He's an artist.
If you want, I can go look for him. I'm supposed to be helping my mom with this anyway.
I'm supposed to help Mr. Tissily, so I can help as well.
Well, I would like to get out of this hot house for at least a little while.
I'm afraid it'll be harder in the hot shop, sir.
Well, I mean, we got to go outside to get to the hot shop, right?
Indeed. We have to go through a biome.
Outside.
What?
You have to go through a different biome to get to the hot shop and make sure it's
The
the right
courtyard
one.
in the mountain biome would be your best respite from the heat, honestly. So that'd be my recommendation.
This leather is getting to me, and I insist on not taking it off. So that may be quite a good idea.
Here's the beautiful conservatory. And as I said, you're down here in the entrance. There is the exit doors, which lead out of the tropical biome that you could theoretically go in through from the first floor, but that's typically where people leave to go out. And then, as I said, there's the stairs and elevator, which lead to the balcony, which is where you access the mountain biome, which is the way that Hayumi went.
And where are we right now?
Like I said, you're in the entrance room, just in the front here with the, all the little hors d'oeuvres and stuff and drinks laid out.
I'm kind of interested in going outside and seeing that giant octopus creature, but
yeah, it's like on old maps. It's like let's sail to the crowd.
There be dragons, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's squid, isn't it?
So, any other questions about the map, or like I said, you all have a copy. You have a copy in your.
Only the mountain is upstairs.
What would you say? Sorry.
Only the mountain biome is upstairs. Everything else is ground level.
Yes, the mountain biome actually it starts. Like you enter the highest point, and then it slopes like the slope of a mountain, and then you re-enter the first floor at the other end of the mountain biome. So
at the desert, right? It's
technically the balcony and just the end of the mountain biome, which presents a second floor. Everything else is just a high ceilinged one room, or one floor rather, and then for each room.
Perhaps the mountain biome might be a bit drier and cooler for you, Mr. Vandermeer.
There's also a few fans in the courtyard, kind of in discreet little corners too. So,
right. Just going outside into the courtyard will be in the.
Well, you'd have to go through. There is no entrance to the courtyard from this side. You'd have to go to the desert biome to access it. So you have to go through.
Everybody else.
Mountain or
right, like either. Yeah.
So your options are to go through the tropical biome through the exit door, or to go to the second floor and enter the mountain biome if you want to go look for Hayumi.
Well, I don't know about you, Mr. Vandermeer, but I'm not a fan of humidity.
No. It's good for the complexion, but it's not good for the clothes getting sticky. You're wearing leather.
It's my signature outfit.
Yes.
Well, Miss Anu, why don't you take us after your mother, and we'll see if we can. Probably, Cicely is, panicked about some last minute thing and hiding in the hot shop.
What kind of
Okay, well,
cheese? do
the
you think
elevator's
this
this way,
is?
so we'll head over to the mountain biome.
Yeah, so you all step onto the elevator. It's rather nice, nothing super fancy, but nothing not up to code or anything like that. It's a nice, looks like it's been updated despite the building being over 100 years old. So it's good that the elevator isn't that old. You ride on up, just a quick one-to-one floor. This is mostly for disability access and just for ease for those who don't want to take the stairs. It's not even that far to go up. And you all step out and you're on the nice little balcony, which is nice because you can better admire the wonderful chandelier sculpture that we mentioned earlier with the red and yellow and all the multicolored different arms and little bits and bobs that sort of fillet and array down in the wonderful little show. There's also some other small things hung up, as well as a couple pictures and different little plant things just to decorate the balcony as you go in. And you can see clearly marked a sort of enter here, start the tour here, motioning for the mountain biome.
So, question, John, how well does Ivan know this area? Because he's supposed to have been helping out and stuff like that.
Right. Well, you and I imagine that you and at least you and Mari have been here before. Mm-hmm. You haven't met Cicely yet, but you've been here before, and you're familiar with sort of the local art community. And so you would at least know your way around a little bit. Mm-hmm. So you'd know how to get. You would know that this is probably the mountain biome is probably the coolest place in this facility. So in the conservatory. In fact, as you open the door to peer in, you do feel that sort of cool, damp air from the temperature regulation for the plants and the sort of climate acclimation they have in here. You can see just even from the door the sort of the tips of the pines and evergreens and mosses. It seems to be there's sort of some sort of narrow path that you see the very top of, and the slope down of the mountain. So you just see the sort of tips of the stuff from the bottom peeking over. It seems there's also a stream that starts up here and flows along the narrow path down the mountain as well.
I do enjoy this trail.
Does anybody know how to yodel?
I know how to take pictures of yodelers.
Well, it sounds like at first you don't have yodeling, but I'm sure at least...
I have some Ricola if you want it.
Hey! But I'm sure Vandermeer especially will enjoy the chilled, fresh-smelling air that sort of flowing by you as you walk in and sort of, start, going down the path. You do hear the water of the stream, and it seems that as you're glancing down now over the slope, there seems to be a rocky waterfall that the stream ends in, that is probably, sort of towards the base of this biome.
How much money a day do you think they spend to keep the climate control of this huge building?
I think that's thanks to Mr. Gunner's family's generosity.
In no small part, although part of our work, of course, is to help find other monies so that we don't run dry keeping places like this open.
Well, it's a lovely conservatory, Certainly, even the city should be chiming in to.
Well, there are visitors' fees, and there's been lately some clever technological innovations with heat convection and whatnot that help make the whole thing more efficient. But let's go find our shy artist.
Indeed.
All right, so yeah, as you continue, it's mostly a nice little walk along this path down the mountain. When you get to the end, you do see that there is that beautiful sort of rocky waterfall about 10 feet tall that dumps down into a pool that's at the furthest end of the biome, and then there is a discrete system where the water is, of course, pumped back up to the top again so that it may repeat the loop. And as you reach the bottom of the room by the aside the pool, you see that there are 3 large crates marked fragile, but are still nailed closed, resting on the ground. Given that there's still a day or two before the actual opening for the public, there's still some things that need to be unpacked. However, you do notice that there is a little magazine clipping that was must have fallen, or somebody left behind, that is sort of gotten caught on the edge of one of the crates that you notice. And I will share that here.
Are there any animals in the biome, like birds, fish in the stream, anything like that?
It's a little eerie because aside from the insects, there aren't a lot of animals. Like there's not, they haven't really introduced plants or anything like that. So aside from a couple of the natural species that grow that come with the plants, there isn't a lot of wildlife, which is a little bit eerie, admittedly.
Like a bit too quiet sort of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Koi, though, right?
There is a koi pond in the courtyard. That is the notable exception to that. Yeah. This seems to be an excerpt from a magazine about the event that somebody was reading.
They're called glory holes.
And one of the most interesting bits about glass blowing is that the hole of the furnace, which is used to cool the glass as it's being shaped, is called a glory hole. That is the part of the furnace that it is referred to. There's also terms like hotbox and all sorts of funny terms. That's why whoever came up with the terms had a good sense of humor. So, who would like to read the article here for us?
I think it probably goes the other way around. I don't think anybody wants to stick their dick in that glory hole.
Well, you be careful.
Bad idea.
You do want to be careful around the glory hole, because when you put the glass in, the change in temperature, is drastic. Mm-hmm. So one must be sensitive around the glory hole.
Well, you don't want to go sticking your face up against the glory hole either, or you'll get a nasty surprise.
We do have a wonderful photo here of the improvised little hot shop. Or I think this might actually be his home hot shop, but it's a hot shop that he would use. And so, who would like to read the article here, starting with the caption and then the question and answer bit?
I'll read it.
All right, thank you, Holly.
So
thank you, Mari.
We have a photograph of the artist's studio with the caption, "A glimpse into the hot shop or glass blowing studio of Galen Tisley, a furnace, glory hole, for reheating works in progress and many metal rods, wooden paddles, and other instruments for inflating and shaping blown glass." This appears to be an interview. "You've been known for pushing the boundaries of glass art for 2 decades. How do you push yourself so you can astound the art world?" That's kind of you to say. For a long time, I have been pushing myself and my studio to expand the limits of the scale and presence of glass artwork. Large, evocative, hopefully even epic sculptures. I'm so proud of what I've been able to share, the spaces the sculptures have been able to share worldwide, and the emotional responses they have invoked. Now I'm really feeling the pull to mature in a new way by digging into the properties of the glass itself. I'm looking back at historic techniques used to color, manipulate, and shape glass used by the Venetians, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Hyperboreans. I'm experimenting with the oldest techniques I can find to resurrect something truly ancient and infuse it into the modern sculpture I am so known for. Can you give any examples of this technique you are now attempting? I'll give you an example of a failure and a success. I experimented briefly with leaded glass, common in window panes throughout Europe, but saw quickly that even when we tried to layer the leaded glass between unleaded glass, there was too much exposure to the material to myself and my team for it to be safe in glass blowing. But some ancient writings by an ancient philosopher named Iben from Hyperborea, one of the Earth's oldest civilizations, have presented a much more promising technique. Our translations of his writing have been extremely rudimentary, but following Iben's instructions, we've infused this incredible ultraviolet hue into the glass. It's hard to describe without seeing it. I have so much respect for the work of anyone who shaped glass without having the tools I have in my hot shop today.
And is it groundbreaking enough that, being in the field or the industry, we would have heard about it? I mean, it's published and whatnot.
You've definitely heard that Tisley has been known for doing groundbreaking things, and that recently people are excited about his most recent gallery because he has hyped himself up a little bit. And so you particularly, you and perhaps Vandermeer and the others that are active in the, active enough that you would all know that, yeah, he's been doing things like this and doing interviews claiming that he's got, the newest glass blowing technique and the newest modern interpretation. And so he's definitely been hyping himself up. This is the first time you might have heard specifics. Sorry, go ahead.
What the hell is hyperborea?
Sounds like a disease.
It's
Mr.
from the
Downsky,
Greek.
have you
It
ever
means
heard of
to the far north is what the word itself actually means.
Mr. Downsky? Have you ever heard of Ibon?
It's not something that immediately comes to mind, but again, Mr. Tisley is a pioneer in the field and a scholar as well, from what I understand. So
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if he managed to uncover some magnificent ancient technique.
This is
It's
either
truly a visionary.
groundbreaking or complete bullshit.
Well, most likely it's bullshit because it's a way to sell your product. However, he may be using some ancient techniques that he's run across. My question, of course, is if they're ancient techniques that aren't used anymore, why not? Because they probably were failures.
Well, things get
He
lost or
mentioned
found
the
again.
lead.
Lost and found again is possible.
Ms. Ono, do you know anything about any translators the artist might have been working with? Has your mother mentioned any of this? So that's the curious part to me. I'm frankly not an historian, a little bit of medical history.
No, she hasn't. She hasn't mentioned anything like that. Maybe Mr. Tisley can tell us himself.
No, I would expect something like that to be in some sort of academic journal before it worked its way down into artistic practice. But yeah, genius finds inspiration in odd places.
Who the devil is that woman? I'm sorry, your mother.
She always gets like this right around an opening, just frantic and busy.
Well,
I'll call out for her though. Mom, are you in here?
You don't get any call back, but from where you're standing, you can see through the glass wall into the desert biome and see some of the cacti and different palms, jutting up from behind the sandstone boulders, and so you can see the metal door that leads through into there.
Are there any labels around the 3 crates that are still remaining? Any markings?
Just the like I said, there's fragile labels, and then perhaps maybe 1 or 2 torn labels of just the conservatory's address and the sort of shipping information, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think it's about time that we go to Mr. Tisley's little shop and see what's going on.
now the desert biome is going to be a dry heat, so you can adjust there, Hades, and then
It's going to take us 5 minutes to walk through. Let's just
It's the smallest biome. It won't take us long to get there.
Brisk walk.
And as you open the door again, you're hit with a gust of air. This time it is unfortunately hot and dry, and you can hear the gravel sort of crunch underneath your feet as you step in. As mentioned, this is a wide corridor. There's many mounds of the sort of light brown sand and those large sandstone boulders that I mentioned throughout. There are also protruding from the sand, you've got giant spiked aloe, clusters of cacti, and even some grassy shrewd grassy shrubs along that. Along the interior wall of the biome are the glass doors leading to the courtyard. And then, of course, both ends of this room have glass doors leading into the other biomes, the tropical, and then, of course, the one you just went through into the mountain.
So a small smile creeps up on Ivan's face. He already feels a bit more at home in the heat and the dryness and everything. This is very comfortable.
For you.
However, as you fully begin to enter the room, you're about halfway going through it. Your eyes set towards on the entrance to the courtyard, eager to go that way. Unfortunately, out of the corner of your eye, you notice what looks like a pair of legs, and you unfortunately notice a body of somebody laying on the ground, surrounded by these pieces of shattered green glass and a toppled aluminum step ladder. There seems to be these twisting coils and bubbles of green glass that hang from a partially assembled lattice attached to the wall. Unfortunately, Ono and Downsky, you would recognize that this is, unfortunately, this is Bradley Mitchell. He's one of the groundskeepers here, and he does not look so good. He's lying there and he isn't moving. He's a black man with short, dark, curly hair, wearing khakis and a green Pierce Conservatory polo.
Mitchell
doesn't seem to be moving.
Mitchell, are you all right? So
no.
Downsky, runs up or at least walks very quickly up to see what's going on.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and do you have medicine or first aid by chance?
I work at the hospital. I'll
one of those.
Yeah,
Quick
I have
aside,
a little bit.
Should I call 911?
As soon as I see this, while they're rushing to first aid, I'm looking for the best angle for a photograph.
Wonderful. Yes, you could get on the other side and get a shot of Ivan sort of right next to him, trying to see, and you'll get a good shot of the unconscious, unmoving Bradley.
I guess roll photography to see if I can get the exact shot I want. Of,
yeah. You can obviously take a photo, but
reaching for him just with the medical supplies.
Let's see if you capture how good.
Reaching very poorly because I got an 89, so he'll be looking clumsy.
Well, I mean, whoever's rushing, I want to try and get the. I want to prime this moment. I got a 30 out of 80, so that's a hard.
That's very good. Yes. So yeah, you got a nice photo of Ivan rushing up, and there's Gunnar not far behind him, also sort of in the edge of the shot.
Well, I've got a 38 for my 55, so regular first aid.
Unfortunately, Downsky, you're having trouble figuring it out. And yeah, what level of success is that, Gunnar?
Regular success.
Okay, yeah. So that's enough for this.
Is he breathing?
Unfortunately, he is not breathing. You pick his head up and you see there is a large bloody wound on the back of his head. It's likely a skull fracture. You've determined with that roll, and unfortunately, he's currently not breathing.
Perhaps
he's not. If he's not quite, he's not quite dead just yet. But if he doesn't get help soon, he's surely not going to survive this.
Yes,
it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for him. Yeah.
Call Hades. He doesn't have long.
Unfortunately,
find my mom, and I'm like running.
I will. I'm pretty sure that we'll consider Gunnar exempt from this, but everybody else that hasn't encountered something like this is going to have to give me a sanity roll for 1-0 or 0-1. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Regular success.
This may affect if I took a photo or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 0 if you pass, and it is a 1. Or sorry, 0. Yeah, 0 if you pass, 1 if you fail.
Okay, I did fail. So I said I made an initial reaction. I guess losing 1, like maybe I scream and then scramble to take that photo.
Sure. Yeah. You're sort of your mouth is agape as you're taking this photo. And then and so someone Hades, you wanted to call emergency services?
Yes.
Yeah. So the call is very quick. Yes, sir. This is 911. What is your emergency? What is your location?
We have a serious injury. Somebody's fallen from support and hit their head. I believe we're at the museum, the conservatory.
Yes, the Pierce Botanical Conservatory.
Pierce Botanical Conservatory.
Okay. And you said
in the
man with the
desert
head wound
section.
Is he? Have you determined if he's breathing or not yet, sir?
He seems to be still alive, but.
Are you safe? Are you safe where you are, sir?
Oh yes. We were just touring the grounds and we came in and found him.
We've got ambulances on the way. They'll be there in about 10 minutes, sir. Probably best not to move him if you can. Keep him stable and just best not to move him at this time.
All right.
All right.
We'll wait for you.
All right. Sounds good. They're on the way.
Can I tell anything? Sorry, go ahead.
Thaddeus, don't be such a vampire.
Let's you and I hurry across and get to the front entrance because I don't know how else they'll get in. We want to open it the clearest way possible.
Yeah, I'm running to the courtyard trying to look for Biome.
Oh, right.
So.
I'm looking at my photo.
I would like to try to guess what happened, to put things together.
Same here, based on my understanding of the glass, same idea.
Do you have a particular skill, or would you just want to do an intelligence or spot hidden? Maybe do a hard intelligence.
Probably intelligence.
Yeah, maybe do a hard. If you can get a hard intelligence, you can get an indication a little bit of what exactly happened. There's kind of some hints you're picking up on, but still not. You're not quite sure. A lot of things could have happened here.
I didn't get a heart, so I assumed that he was hanging the sculpture and he fell. And
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it looks like.
maybe the ladder fell over. Maybe he, maybe a bit broke off in his eye. You don't know. There's a million possibilities here.
Can I tell what it used to be? Like that broken glass sculpture. Can I tell what it used to be? Yeah.
It looks like there are these green bits scattered around him. And there's this partially hung, definitely looks like a Tassili-esque, creation. It must be one of his or one of the, other artists that he's, going to get in here. But it looks like it's just he was assembling it, reassemble, because a lot of this stuff is large. And so they have to reassemble it on location. And so he was reassembling one of these hanging pieces, and something happened to which he, it resulted in him hitting his head and a portion of it breaking.
And the break seems natural, right? Like based on, Ivan's understanding of glass and how it breaks, it seems like it fell or like, someone,
so something happened naturally. It looks like, it looks like a natural break. It doesn't look like a laser or anything other than
right. Like they look like it exploded or anything.
No, it was a natural break. It looked like.
August, are you heading towards the front door?
Well, it's a question. John, looking at the map again,
yes,
this place is obviously, as the map describes it, is in violation of every conceivable fire code, and there are no emergency entrances or exits.
Well, that might be correct. This building was built 100 years ago.
Old buildings.
And so that you can get out the entrance, and so you obviously can. There's more than one path from here. You could go through the tropical biome or through the mountain biome again to get to the entrance. And the courtyard is exposed to the outdoors, but it doesn't actually. It's an enclosed courtyard, of course. So
somebody needs to go.
I've run through the courtyard and I'm shouting for my mom because I'm assuming that's where she is.
Okay, so you sort of push the door open and enter the courtyard. And you can all still hear her from the desert biome shouting. And unfortunately, as you're you look around the whole courtyard and you look into the hot shop, and you do see there is Tassili working away. He's got currently he's got one of the long
the rods.
Long rods. Thank you. Yes, punch. Yes, he's got a long punch with some hot glass on it, and he seems to be rolling it, against one of the surfaces in the hot shop, and just working away. And he doesn't seem to be grumbled about your calling for Hiyumi. He's just too busy engulfed in his work. It looks.
Mari, have you tried calling your mother on the phone? I'm sure she has it around all the time.
Have you seen Hiyumi? Like trying to ask him.
No, sorry, I must work. I've got little time left.
Okay, well then I am going to call my mom since I don't see her immediately in this room.
And he sort of, grumbles as you go back, toward the others, and you pull your phone out. You are able to dial, and you do connect. In fact, you do get to your mother, and she says, "Hello, who is that? Is this you? Mari, is that you?"
Yeah, Mom. Look, Mr. Mitchell, he's hurt in the desert biome.
I know. I found Bradley in the desert. Yes, I saw him. Was really hurt. I tried to go for help. I'm in the mountain, or I'm in the tropical biome now. But there's something I need help. Oh no, it hurt me. And you hear there's some sort of a splashing and some running noise. Sounds like somebody running through water. And then unfortunately there's another splash, and the call disconnects. And as it does, as you glance back at the phone, you feel as almost you paper cut the side of your face. And you look at your phone, and there's a crack that wasn't there before, a crack in the glass.
Oh, crap. Mom's gonna kill me. Okay, I'm running back to the desert biome. I think something's happening with my mom. I think she's in trouble too in the tropical biome. I gotta go. I gotta go see what's wrong.
Yeah, so gotta get to the front door and open it up either. I thought maybe she might have found him because I can't tell. It's not like he's gonna cool her in there. So let's hurry to the front door.
What? Photos?
Oh my God,
Mr. Tassili,
vampire.
It seems like we have a serious problem here.
Should someone
Only
take this with
potential people in crisis. This could break so many things. This is amazing.
Right. So you found Tissily. You've also got a call from your mother. Last you heard, she was in the tropical biome.
Mhm.
You need to go through either the tropical or mountain if you want to go back to the entrance. So where does everyone want to go?
I'm going straight through the tropical one. I kind of shouted this as I ran past, basically.
So yeah, so
If
as
I
you're
was-
I'll follow. Sorry, go on.
No, yes, please. Go ahead. What you said first.
I was going to say I'll follow Mari and tell her to keep calling the phone so we could, we
Hear the ring. That's a
ringtone.
good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
If I was told about there being something happening in the tropical biome, I'm
Yeah,
going.
I mentioned it as I'm running past.
Yes, it
My
is.
mom's in trouble.
Frantic 17-year-old screaming, but you did hear about it. So
There's a part of me that's a coward and also like,
right.
something may be wrong.
So-
I should get out. That's on the way.
And yes,
Odo.
Hades, so who is following and who is not following? I suppose I should ask him before I continue with that.
I think I'll be close on Murray's heels because
Okay.
I was headed that way.
Vandermeer?
Well, somebody needs to stay with the body, but I don't want it to be me. I have no desire to stand here watching a man die.
Well,
all right, I'll stay here.
so as you're making the decision, the others they start heading towards the tropical biome, and Mari, you're at the front of the pack. You're determined. And you look through, and through the glass walls, you can see the glass. First of all, the glass is starting to look weird. You don't know if it's just the way that the sunlight is shining through and the heat, but it almost has this sort of a haziness to it. It's almost like it looks like it's starting to very discreetly like melt, like little bits of it. And as you see through, you see into the tropical biome, and you see the fauna there, the many plants there. But you also, unfortunately, you see a glimpse of a woman with dark hair darting into the foliage. You only catch a glimpse of her. And then you see that the foliage closes around her like claws in this dark, distorted vision that you see as you run up to the door. Please go ahead and give me a sanity roll. I also need it from Downsky because you were right behind her, and anybody that thinks they're looking through the tropical biome as they approach the door is also going to roll
that'd be
this.
Thaddeus because
to
I'm
fail.
following, right?
Yeah, because unfortunately it's a glass wall, so it's you can't not see it.
How much
do
for
I-
failure?
Sorry, go ahead.
Was that?
Just how much for failure? That was. the
Oh
last
yes,
one.
this is a 0 1d2, so it's 1d2 on a failure.
Would I recognize or understand how glass could behave that way from my years of experience dealing with it?
This glass is you do not know what's going on. Maybe it's some visual distortion with the heat, but it shouldn't look like that. It shouldn't look kind of melty like the way it does. Something is up.
How much do I lose if I rolled a pass in 08?
Oh, 0. That's you're good. You're good.
Focused on that photo, man.
Yeah, you're like, I got a great photo. We're gonna go help this lady's mom. I'm gonna get the scoop. So you're not thinking about that. So do you continue to go through the door?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm running right
Yeah.
up to where.
So
I saw
as
her.
you-
yeah.
As you run up to the door, you grab it, and it seems like it's kind of tough, and you're gonna have to give me a strength roll as it kind of it's maybe it's just because hasn't been opened in a bit, or it looks like that the glass has that sort of meltiness even around where the metal is in. So what'd you get?
It's a regular pass, but
Yeah, you're able to get it open. So it kind of takes you a little bit, but you're able to sort of you got a little sun muscles in there.
The
So you can
adrenaline.
pull it open. Yeah,
Adrenaline's
with
pumping
adrenaline
in me.
fueled sort of you rip the door open, and you throw it open. And like I said, inside you see the tropical biome. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, you already saw some of the large, tall plants. Obviously these are more tropical, sort of jungle-esque sort of things that require a more warm and humid air, which you are met with as you fling the door open. It's a lot more wet and warm than any of the other rooms due to the nature of the plants inside. You do see that there are some empty stands scattered about where it looks like sculptures are going to go. And in addition, there is a pool in the very center, and that is where you spot a figure sort of through the fauna and foliage in between you, sort of standing inside this pool of water.
is it like ankle high water and she's just standing?
Yeah,
or is it
yeah.
like up to her chest or?
Mhm. Yeah, from this distance, that's about what it looks like. It looks like somebody standing in the ankle deep sort of pool.
Can we tell the size and shape of the figure? Is it male, female?
It definitely looks like a woman with dark hair.
Okay.
Like you saw.
And again, no animal sounds, no bird sounds, just like the mountain biome. Or?
Yeah, no. Aside from maybe a faint bug chirping, you can't hear anything.
I'm gonna run right up.
Is that your mother?
Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah. So as you push your way past some of the foliage, you see that on the other side of the pool there are these strange figures. These almost, they look like moving sculptures, similar to the ones you saw hanging. They've got these strange, glass arms that seem to be almost, liquid and fluid as they're moving about and writhing. And it seems they're definitely aggressive, but they seem like she's somehow sort of hiding in the water to stay away from them. It seems to have an unnatural glow. It seems almost violet, like a violet light, but as you look closer, it's almost like viewing something under a black light. They are moving, trying to, they want to get to her, but they can't get to the water. And it seems they haven't quite picked up on you all yet.
Would we, or at least my character, be able to make an association between the magazine talking about ultraviolet and this being more than violet?
You would, yes. Okay. This definitely seems like perhaps some sort of deranged creature that somehow is a spawn of Tisley's artwork from what you've sort of pieced together with the magazine. And that is it's going to be a 1d4. So if you pass, that's still going to be 1, and it'll be a d4 on a failure.
I guess if you roll a 99,
monster.
It's a 4.
Fail.
That's the 4. That's definitely.
97, fact, so
yeah,
yes.
You have a moment of just like your jaw is agape, and you've never seen anything. You've never seen a walking art installation, that's for sure.
So the mountain path had a gravel walkway. I assume the desert had a gravel walkway. What does the tropical biome have?
It's a sort of a sandy sort of dirt, just sort of ground, like sort of loose dirt and sand. Not
rocks that might shatter glass if thrown.
There are rocks around.
Yeah. Of course, I had a couple thoughts. I have to get to the front and open it for the EMTs. Mm-hmm. I don't know where Hayumi is. But also, I didn't know he was doing kinetic work. And also, those things are moving like they're alive. And I just soiled myself a little. So I'm going to pick up the biggest rock that I might be able to throw that far and hurl it at these things.
All right, yes. And so as this is a little bit of a straight combat, so Gunnar is moving to hurl a rock. What is everybody else doing this turn?
I only lost one sandy, so maybe I gasped for some kind of reaction, but I'm taking
if you didn't lose 5, you had a small reaction, but you're still in control. So what would everyone like to do?
I'm not if this is combat, my round with my going down like dex order and stuff. My dex is 50. On my turn, I'm going to just take a photo.
All right. What is everyone else doing this first turn here?
I'm just running to my mom, just trying to help her.
Wonderful. And Vandermeer Downsky?
I've folded my pamphlet into a fan, and I'm currently playing Sudoku as I'm waiting for the EMTs to get here, and I'm trying not to look at the poor man that's dying on the ground.
And you hear some small commotion, but obviously you can't see that far in to quite see the pool. But so let me know if you want to interrupt at that point. Now, but Downsky, what are you doing as the rock is being picked up to be thrown?
So I'll follow Mari up, and then I'll look for big branches, anything that I might be able to seize. And
you both give me a spot hit or a luck, and then you can go ahead and give me your athletics roll, Gunner, for hurling the rock at the glass, one of the glass walking things.
Regular success on spot hidden.
Okay.
Let's see, spot hidden. 31 over 50, so regular.
So you do find there are a couple of rocks like Gunner has found here. In fact, you find 1 or 2 that are even larger, but could still probably be thrown with a good Good roll. There's also, some branches from the more tropical like trees. They're not the strongest, but they, it's something to throw. And there is also a bucket that's next to one of the spigots. So that, a metal bucket would be a good thing to throw as well, as far as you just want to smash something. So, because there are, in fact, you noticed a spigot on the way in as well, because the tropical plants require a lot of water. So there's more water in this room than the others.
If it matters, when it comes down to it, if I even take it, my photography roll was a hard success.
Oh yeah, so you got two action shots so far. I mean, mark that down if you survive. You got.
Oh, I'm writing them down. Believe me.
You can. It'll be still in the photo, but you can be like, "Hey, I swear these were moving."
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So, what did you get on the athletics roll?
What do you mean if he survives?
Out
Anyway.
of character.
It's Cthulhu.
It's the voice of God speaking to us. Come on now.
Yeah.
Similar to real life, my throw skill is only 20, but
right.
A 28 is close enough that I will spend luck to hit.
All right. Yeah, give me. Let's go ahead and call that. Go ahead and give me. That's pretty nice, Rock. So go ahead and give me a D4 +1 plus your damage bonus.
No damage bonus, I believe. Right. D4. 4 plus 1 is 5.
Okay, and no damage bonus, you said?
Right. Yeah,
All
5
right.
total.
So with that, you square a solid hit on the first of these strange moving sculptures. It hits and it shatters a number, like it's in an array of this glass. Let's see here. Unfortunately, given the proximity, Hayumi's gonna have to make a dodge against that. But there is the water, so that might help her if she does get hit. She does dodge, which is good. So there is a sort of a spray of the sort of, like I said, slightly glowing glass as it sprays as you knock a number of the arms, and you see part of the core is sort of fractured, and it's still moving, but you've basically, this thing is half the size that it was as the large rock sort of teared half of it off and caused it to explode in an array of glass shards.
Insane.
However, you have now alerted the two to your group, and there's no water in between, so far between them, like there is Hayumi. So they are going to start moving towards you all. Luckily, they are not super fast, but they are agile. I mean, they're not super slow, and so they're coming towards you. There's one coming towards you, Gunner, and then there's one. The damaged one is coming towards you, Gunner, and then the fresh one is sort of turning and is eyeing the group. Thaddeus and Mari and Ivan, and he's heading towards you two.
Once between camera and the being, noticing it's moving. Oh.
And I will say, you do hear what sounds like you do hear things moving in the foliage, and you do notice like one of the stalks that you saw earlier is kind of, it's not attacking you, but you do notice it's sort of swaying, almost like some sort of living thing. And so it seems that glass all around you is definitely acting up around here. And so it looks like you got the one half walker and then the other one that's coming towards you. And you don't necessarily want to hide too deep in some of the foliage because you might run into more stuff there. So as I said, there's these two glass walkers coming at you. What would you all like to do now?
Run back to the desert. At this point, at first it was like, cool, glass statues. This is part of the room, right? And now, like, actually, I passed my sanity roll, so it's like repressing. But now seeing them moving towards me, it's like I'm in danger and I'm running away.
All right, Gunner, what are you doing? There's still half of this thing.
I was going to try to run past it, but the pokey bits are very pokey, aren't they?
They are. They appear
very...
almost. They kind of singe the ground a little bit as the feet touch the ground, almost like bits of it are still molten.
I would like to make an idea roll.
Okay.
Because I think that Harumi figured out that it'll shatter if it gets chilled suddenly, but I'm in a state, so I don't know that I would come to that immediately.
Sure.
And a 17 is fantastic. So
Yes,
I'm going to I'm going to go to the nearest spigot and see if I can figure out how to attach a hose to it, or just stick my thumb over it and arrange for spray.
You could do some sort of, old, improvised spray with your thumb. It's definitely like one of those spigots that you could do that. And there also is, like I said, a bucket nearby, which isn't the best method, but like I said, there is the bucket there.
Leah, locking hose, I'll start filling a bucket with the coldest water.
You're not sure exactly what it's going to do, but you do know that Hayumi managed to avoid them by hiding in the pool of water. So,
yeah.
And so you are filling the bucket, and that is a little bit farther. So the half one is still shambling to get you, but it's now going to take another turn to have to get over there before it's going to try to attack you.
So do we hear any, sizzling or anything when the broken glass? Clearly Hayumi ducked, but then the glass would have landed in the water around her.
Some of it, yes, indeed. And I would say you would know, that would remind you, Downsky, uses, when that's how you cool glass, is you have to soak it in water or something like that. So you also pick up on that the glass sort of singed the shards as they went in. And like I said, you notice that Hayumi has avoided them by being in the pool, but there's certainly not enough room for all of you to be in there and not be within poking distance.
Right.
So that's not going to be a permanent solution for the rest of you.
So I'm going to yell that out and let everyone know, cold water is going to fracture the glass or fracture these creatures or harm them, just so everyone's, aware.
Okay. And so Thaddeus is getting some distance. Mari, while as you hear that, what would you like to do for this turn?
Okay, so as I'm running up on Hayumi and I'm like just reaching out my hand, like, Mom, let's go. We can go back to the desert biome.
So, okay,
like
all right.
ducking and dodging.
Then she's like surprised to see you. She's like, all right, yeah, let's go, because she's like happy to get away from these things. So she rushes with you. I will real quick. Hades, you do hear some shouting coming from the other room at this point. Stay where you are, or.
I think I'll probably move towards the mountain biome to see what the hell is going on. I'll open the door so that I can hold the door for the EMT, which I expect to be here.
The shouting's from the tropical.
The tropical.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
You could look into the other one, but the shouting is actually coming from the tropical, and in fact, you actually do see a male figure that is running towards the door.
Okay,
kind of coming into your view.
I'll go open the door. Thank God. How long does it take the EMTs?
He probably sees Thaddeus running towards him, right?
Yeah. In fact, as you're approaching the door, Tom, you do see some of the plants on the other side of the room are they seem to be writhing back and forth, kind of like I mentioned to them, and it seems strange, looking at it through the glass. And then you go to approach the door and open it, and that is, strangely enough, you see Hades approach the door, yet when he grabs it, the door sucks his hand in, and it's like he's getting pulled into the glass, and you're almost horrified for a moment, but then the door thrusts open, and there's Hades standing there with the door open for you.
Is that a sanity roll?
Yes, go ahead and roll a 1d2 for that.
Darling, don't just stand there with your mouth open. Do you have a bottle of water?
Good God, even with a starting stand of 80, I rolled an 86 right there, so that's 1d2.
Yes, you succeeded that. So you're definitely horrified, but you're able to keep your composure.
No, I failed because my current.
Oh, sorry.
So I just lost.
Sorry.
I rolled a d6 and rolled a 6. So that's 2. Lost.
Okay, I thought you said that the 2 was the So you'll take 2 damage from that as you are, and you kind of sort of jump in through the. You're like, get me through that door.
Yeah, You're
like, I got things back there. I got things over here. You're really not
on
doing
the other
so good.
sandy rolls. I'd only lost 1 pass or fail. With this, I would say it's more than screaming. It's me like recoiling for a bit, like like.
Darling, what's wrong?
The glass. Hades, you need to see this. And I'm gonna get out my digital camera, and I want to try and show him, like, as quickly as I can scroll to it, that photo I took of the glass. They're moving, Hades.
Oh yeah,
they're moving.
And Hades, you see as Thaddeus is showing you a picture of 2 of looks like, Tistley's sculptures arranged around a pond. Seems to be a woman standing, Hayumi standing in the pond for some reason. That's a little odd, but it's just two of Tistley's sculptures from what you can see.
I'm very confused.
The glass was sucking you. You gotta understand. There's something wrong. They're behind me. Look.
Where's the EMT? So I'm looking out the door into the tropical part. What do I see?
You see through the fauna, you can kind of see probably it looks like you probably see the two figures of two women, which would be Mari and Hayumi, that are now rushing along as well, and the two figures behind them, but a little further along.
Do I see anything else?
You probably, I guess, if you're taking a look, you probably see just in the distance, you see Gunnar filling a bucket because there's they're on this inside. They're both on the inside side of the wall, so that you notice there's a spigot with no bucket, but there's a spigot with a bucket next to you. There's also a spigot across from you on the other side, and then down on this same wall as the spigot is Gunnar filling his all the way on the other side. And so it's just sort of through the side that you can see him.
So, Thaddeus, you all seem panicked about something.
There's something. Listen, I don't get what's going on, but the glass was moving.
And then, it's at this point the others sort of join you. And Gunnar, your bucket is filled with water at this point.
Yeah, as soon as I'm loaded, I'm going to brace my feet and toss the bucket from low so as to get as much water toward my potential assailant as possible.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength roll for that, or athletics if it's better. But it sounded like strength would be better for you.
Yeah. An 88, however, is terrible.
Oof, that is.
I hope I held onto the bucket.
Well, you didn't. You actually you didn't fumble. So
No.
You didn't lose the bucket, but you missed the water. And the half of the glass sculpture that is not shattered from your rock is closing in on you, and the other one seems to be going off towards the others. But it's they've sort of run off past it, but it's catching up.
So if it's closer to me than I am to the spigot, which I left, of course, running.
You're still it's on the other side of you from the spigot, so you could back up to the spigot.
Right. If I'm 8 feet from the spigot and it's 6 feet from me, say, I'm just going to hurl the bucket at it.
All right.
And if I'm closer to the spigot, then I'm going to go back and get water because I think that's going to be more effective.
It would be faster to just hit it with the bucket. Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to do that because
Sure.
I am terrified.
You can go ahead and give me another strength, or if you want to do dex to toss it, you could also do that as well.
Is August throwing a bucket at something?
And at this point, now that's closing in, you do see just the tips of the arms around the foliage that something is he's fending something off that has more arms than it should.
Regular success on either strength or dex for that.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a D4 damage bonus added if you have it.
Damage bonus and only one this time.
Okay. And so you do take more of this. More of it's shattered away. However, it is still going, and it is going to try to make a swipe at you. You have knocked away more than half of it, but there's still enough of it. There's still part of its core and a portion of those tentacle-like, things that are going to move and sort of strike at you, or attempt to. That is, and it's going to try to, grasp you with these strange, arms. And it got a 4.
Oh dear.
That's not good.
No, it
You
isn't.
can go ahead and give me a dodge or fight back if you'd like for that.
I would need to have rolled an extreme, and I rolled a 92, so there isn't enough luck in the world.
Right. So, unfortunately, you feel as this thing, it sort of grabs at your arm with its sort of trying to sort of pull you. but it's sort of the molten nature of it sears at your arm, and it does 3 damage to you as it burns into your arm, and it looks like it is going to try and sort of get you again, or sort of like walk sort of on top of you and continue to burn you. And so you need to get the hell away from this thing, or kill this thing before it kills you.
Yeah.
So I imagine at this point I'm probably the one still closest to the pool since Mario, and so I would be like
halfway.
running out
Yeah.
and kind of behind the creature, and August would be a bit further, right? And I would have
Correct.
my branch or whatever. Would I be able to run up and kind of like smack it, from behind as I'm running out?
You'd have to run back a little bit to get to Gunner, which would
I ran past him already.
Yeah, you're past Gunner, but you're the closest person to him though still. So if you want to run back a little bit, you could do that, but you'd be at risk of the other one that's kind of trailing you a bit behind.
Yeah, if I turn around and see he's sort of stuck there, then I think Ivan would, turn around and then branch in hand, just go and see if he could knock it back, poke it back, whatever fighting brawl he can do against it.
All right, sure. Yeah, you can go ahead and give me a roll as you run up there. It is already spent its turn going for him. So.
All right. So I got 8 over 65.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Yeah.
And what would be the damage for a branch?
So a branch is not, since you're using it like a club, it wouldn't be impaling. So it's just as a max, I suppose, right? Because you got an extreme, right? It was less than
correct.
Yeah, if it's blunt, it's just max damage.
It's just max. So whatever.
I don't know the damage of a branch.
We'll call that an improvised. So we'll call it like a D4, or would you say D6?
1D8 for a club.
Okay, yeah. So
is it a big branch?
I'll say, yeah. You did succeed on your spot hidden earlier. We'll call it a D8. So you do. Yeah, you smack this thing and it shatters. Like you kind of. It's a good thing too. You bat the core away a little bit, but you are still gonna have to. Both of you are gonna have to roll a dodge for me here as glass shatters all around you.
It's already shattered, but out of curiosity, out of game, Ivan, do you have a damage bonus?
I do. I have a D4 damage bonus too.
Oh,
well, it would have also done that, but it had less than that, so don't worry. But
and I guess if Ivan is used to burns and cuts from all his time in the in the hot shop, is there a benefit, advantage, anything?
I'll say,
or maybe resistance to damage later.
I'll say maybe 1 less damage for you, just because you're used to being burned, but you're still going to make the roll. Yeah.
40. Dodge. I failed my dodge.
Okay, so it's just going to do. It's going to be D4, so that'll be 3. So that'll be 3 damage. Unfortunately, if you fail the dodge, there as little bits of these molten, slightly glowing ultraviolet sort of shards, spray at your face. And so you like I said, you can reduce that by 1, Ivan. So it'll be 2 for you, as you're used to being burned, but that doesn't mean it still doesn't hurt a little bit. It still doesn't hurt. So, and the rest of you see as Ivan goes to help him out. The other one is now making its way back towards you, but because you sort of did a little bit of a zoom motion, it's kind of still readjusting its angle, and so it's going to take another turn to get to you. But it's you're going to have to deal with that one though if you don't get out of here soon.
Perhaps a water, Mr. Gunner.
Yes. How far are we from another bucket? Or should I get the bucket that I threw? That's probably closer to me. I can go back to the spigot with the bucket that bounced off him and broke a little tip off.
Yeah, you know that this isn't the only spigot. So
yeah, so I'm going to grab that bucket, go back to the spigot, and begin this process again. Is it relevant where I took my 3 hit points? Did I get an arm? Did I get a bit of? It
was your arm. He did get he burned your arm a little bit. So your forearm it tried to grab at you with its strange thing, and it did a solid sear.
Right, but it's not. It's going to be a terrible burn, but it's not bleeding.
No, it's a burn. So it cauterized any wound that it caused. As it cut you, it was more of a molten burning as much as it was cutting you.
Yeah.
so
So,
are
back,
you
to
gonna-
the, back to the water brigade for me.
Are you going to use this spigot, or are you going to go run to the one that's by Hades?
I think the one that's closest is a better call
Okay.
because I've
Alright,
only
yeah.
gone a few feet from it to throw, and then I'm gonna.
Yep. All right. So yeah, you're able to fill the bucket with water, but the other glass walker is now approaching, and so it's gonna attack you next turn.
Okay.
So it's now or never, as opposed to as far as
I-
the water.
The molten whites of its eyes.
Would you like to assist Downsky? Because you can sort of a like if you remember like in movies, if you ever see when people are putting out house fires together,
Yeah.
you can pair together to do more with a bucket.
Absolutely, I would
So you
assist.
can get advantage on the roll if you, or a bonus die, sorry, on the roll if you help Gunner, you can give him a bonus die.
I will help.
All right. And the 14 is much more like it, so I didn't need the bonus.
Yes, that is a lot better. And so together, you had the motion already, but Downsky was there to make sure. And you splash the water. And Downsky, it's a rather startling, familiar sight. As you see that the water, it causes it to at first. It sort of stops, like it's sort of writhing at you, and as the water hits it, it's immediate. The molten, moving quality is gone, but that only lasts for a minute, and then it shatters again. Luckily, it hadn't quite gotten into melee with you yet, so you're ready for it this time, so you don't have to roll the dodge again. But it again shatters as the sort of the water hardens it, and then it immediately causes cracks, kind of like can't remember the call, but there's a tier you can make in a glass blowing art, and it's a special tier that no matter how you hammer it, it will not break unless you twist the very bottom of it, and the entire thing shatters. And it's very reminiscent to that, where this thing just boom, it's a million pieces. And there is sort of a eerie moment of calm, but then the sort of worry at the fact that these probably aren't the only sculptures.
Well, I'm quite confused by what I've been seeing. So I switch back to my non-ultraviolet blocking glasses.
And it's interesting that you do notice that now that you've taken off your sunglasses, you notice that same glow as before. In addition, were you particularly watching as this went on?
I was, but all I was seeing was confusion.
Right. And so, yeah, you have seen, the writhing from afar. And yeah, you're definitely know that something's up, and especially with what you saw through the glass and such, something's up right now. That's for sure.
And Thaddeus is quite upset.
Yeah, at this point, like when one of them shattered behind me, because at that point, up until one of them shattering, I was still probably talking to Hades, like, they're moving, and hearing the shattering, that's when I turn around and witness the rest of this. Now I turn back to Hades.
Yeah, you were able to now sort of calm down and get back to, sort of group back up. Hayumi is, with Mari, and she's like, we got to get help. Have you gotten help yet for Bradley?
I called 911. Let's get the hell out of here.
All right.
Agree.
We have to get Galen. We have to get Galen.
What are those things?
Fuck
what Are
him.
those things?
Where is Galen?
He's in his workshop.
Oh God.
Feel free to
Yes,
go
we gotta
there.
Run up to Galen and try to find
I am
him. Yeah.
out of here. Bye.
All right. So you're walking back into the desert biome.
Thaddeus isn't. Thaddeus
okay.
is going to the entrance.
Well, you have to go through the desert, or do you want to go? Unless you want to go back through the tropical room, which you can. But there might be that is.
I want to go in the opposite direction.
That's a good point. Is knowing that there's a risk of more of them. Yeah.
Do you think those things in the crates? Do you think those things in the
follow
crates
them.
could be like that too?
That's a good point. As we walk past the spigot, if there's a bucket around, what happens if I pour it on the glass walls or doors or anything?
So actually, the walls were looking strange.
Right.
Yeah, as you're looking at the walls, you do see that pouring the water on doesn't seem to, unfortunately, do much. But again, it looks like it's almost like the walls are sort of warping or melting, as I described before. And as you look past, you look outside, and you see it almost looks like you can see out into the gardens beyond you in the sun, but it almost has like an ultraviolet hue, as if the glass, even the walls have now been overcome with this very faint ultraviolet tint, like there's a black light somehow, putting a layer over what you're looking at. Do you continue to stare, or?
I think I'm with Thaddeus. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm going to go look for Galen, and also if I get to the hot shop, I'm sure there are like specific hammers and whatnot made just to break glass. Like it's a hot shop, so I'm going to look for those.
Indeed, there is. So as you enter the hot shop,
Question.
you see. Yes, sorry. Go ahead first.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
But,
before we do that,
by the time they as a group, we're all fleeing, go to the desert biome, right? And they're going to the courtyard, to the hot shop.
Yes, so there is. Some people are going into the hot shop. Looks like they're trying to do it quickly, but if you're not waiting for them, we can do that in a moment because you're.
Yeah. I just want to clarify that I am not. I'm
Okay.
going to the mountain biome, and I would assume that Vandermeer here is doing the same.
We're heading towards the door, whichever is the shortest route. Yes.
Okay, so we've got Thaddeus and Hades who are going. They're going towards the mountain biome. Hayumi also is interested in getting out, but she is also worried about Tissely. So, what would you like to do with that? What do you want to do, Mari? Because she'll default to what you say. She's like, I really want to get out of here, but Tissely, we don't want to leave him.
We gotta take care of Mr. Tissely. Yeah, let's go get him. We can't
All right,
leave him in here with those things.
So you go with Downsea. Gunnar, are you going with the group that's heading towards the exit first, or the group that's heading for Tissely first?
I'm going to forge my own path. First of all, in my good arm, I'm carrying a bucket of cold water because I'm not going to be without one. I'm going to push back into the desert biome, and I'm going to look for a way to break through the glass there.
Okay, the glass wall to the outside. Okay.
Because I don't think I'm going to make it through the tropics, and I need to get the EMTs in and myself out.
All right, so we're going to have to bounce around a little bit, but that's fine. We'll do some cinematic cuts. So we'll start with the courtyard because there was talk of the hot shop, and so I have some stuff for that. So inside the courtyard, you do notice from a better view now. You see the koi pond, and then the couple of older Tissely works that you noticed before that are here, and of course you see Tissely still working away in the hot shop. In addition to Tissely, there's also there is pipes and punties. So there are long pipes, and as we mentioned before, punties, which are made for holding molten glass on the end and shaping it to keep it away from yourself, so that for safety. There's also some wooden paddles, tongs, newspapers, heavy gloves, dark glasses, metal molds, shards of colored glass, buckets of water, sawhorses. Also all sorts of things that you would expect to find here, downski, things that come in the glass shop. But there are all those items that you could procure or use as a weapon. You note that many of them would make a good weapon, but that's what you've got available. And as you come in and you're shouting for Tissely, I need to work. I've got less than 2 days. I've got all this work to do. And he's just diligently, you hear this. He's got a very gruff sound to his voice. He says, what do you want? I need to work.
The glass. What have you been doing to it? It's alive.
What do you mean? It's just my new formulas.
Why is it
purple? You don't know what I'm doing.
Tissely, why is it purple? What did you do to it?
Oh, it's just a special my special way of concocting this. Just as I said, you can read about it in my article.
We have no time for this. I'm going to grab Tissely physically, grab him out, and then on the way out, look for either a fracture hammer, emergency hammer, whatever would seem like I could use to like really break glass, and just physically haul him out.
As you grab him, he looks at you, and you see his face. There's this strange blue around his nose and mouth, like this. His eyes, you can tell his eyes look like he's maybe ingested too much of the fumes or something. Like he's not in the right state of mind. That's it. You might have, picked it up earlier, but this is abundantly clear now. And he just gives you this look like you've just pulled a doctor away from a surgery or a policeman from a guy he's arresting. And he says, I give you one chance to let go of me and get back to my work.
Does he seem threatening? Like how
Yes,
big is he?
He's in fact, he's a rather older man. He's got graying curly hair, and
Right.
he's got regularly he has dark glasses, but those have been he's taken those off to look at you. He's wearing like a heavy leather apron and sky blue flannels and jean work boots. He's what's your size by chance?
I think 60.
So yeah, you're both. Are you
60? Yeah.
Are you tall or are you stocky?
Oh, sorry, I'm size 70. Size
Okay,
70.
so
strength 60.
so he's a little shorter than you. He's a little shorter. He is slightly above average as far as height, but that's about it. He does have, like I said, he is holding some sort of a pipe that I said he was working with, and it looks like he is threatening you to let go of me, or I'm going to make you let go of me.
Can I see what he's making? Because he's probably hammering something behind.
Oh yeah,
him.
I mean, it looked like he was working on another glass beast, something similar.
Right.
It looks like he's working on, maybe assembling a core to add more tendrils to. Perhaps he's making another chandelier or another installation to go in the tropical area. There's some stuff that needs to be unpacked, but there's also stuff that he's making. So, he seems he's just working on his next creation, and the furnace is still going hot. In fact, now that you're in here and you're by the furnace, everyone that's in this room can go ahead and give me a spot hidden.
11.
Oh wow, is that an extreme or hard?
Let's see. Spot hidden is 50, so I'm going to spend 1 luck to get it extreme.
At first, you smell something that doesn't smell good, and then you smell something that smells gross, like something decrepit or dead. Like something's not right in here. Like something's even more not right than it already is. And you get that distinct, disgusting smell, like something died in here. And with that, we're going to pause right there. So Gunnar, you've got a bucket, you've got fists. I don't know if you have any weapons. How are you planning on getting through this outside glass? Because it's thick. Conservatory walls are thick.
Yeah, I think there are 3 layers based on the map, and it's going to be all tension glass and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I have the water because if anything comes through the door, I want to be able to douse it. I didn't expect to be able to use the water. I'm going over to poor Mr. Mitchell's body, which is certainly not, there's no pulse at this point, although I'll take a moment and check. He's next to a fallen ladder.
That is correct, yes.
And does he have a tool belt? Or are there tools?
Yeah, he's got some tools. He has some workman's tools. He has a screwdriver, screws, things like that.
What my assumption is that it's going to be impossible to get out to the tropics, and I'm worried about running up the mountain top if that's even safe over there. I think this is the safest place, and the place I'll know where. This glass looks okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look normal, but it's not the same molten. Like you can touch it, and it's not burning you.
And I'm not getting a weird landscape to the extent that I was in the tropics.
Not necessarily, but you're looking outside, like out the back wall.
Looking, through,
Right. I mean, as you're starting to look, and you sort of stare, you do get that sort of eerie indigo layer, though, that Downsky also got. And as you're actually looking, as you stare for a moment, as you're trying to think of how you can exactly get through this, you see further that you almost see that the sun outside is darkened by this eerie indigo glow, almost like an eclipse. And the trees sort of lean towards it, as almost grasping towards it.
Okay, the desert environment is pretty shallow. I'm going to open the door to the courtyard and look at the sky through none of the glass. How's that look?
That looks like regular sky.
Okay. Oh yeah. So right. So basically, I'm going to spend, minutes. There are heavy rocks in here. He has some tools, and there's a ladder. I'm basically looking to build something that I can tip over with a rock on it and maybe a chisel attached. I'm going to just, I know it's going to take a period of time, but I feel safe in here.
As you begin hammering in, you do start to take some chunks off, you feel like, but then it seems to be almost rather warping around your chisel. And it warps to the point that before you even know it, you move down to chisel in and you go in and your hand is sucked into the glass pane of the wall. And that's where we're going to pause for a moment and go over to our friends that are running into the mountain biome. So, Hades and Thaddeus, you are making your way towards the door.
Yes, I don't really know what the danger is, but I'm following Thaddeus because I trust there's something dangerous.
As you look into the mountain biome through the door, you do see the spines of the pines and evergreen trees growing unnaturally long, and they sort of end in these sharp, sinister, dark needles, almost black through the door, as you see.
I don't remember that being like that.
Do you still go in, I'm assuming? Or?
Well, we've got to get out of the building.
Right.
Yeah, so at this point, it's like thinking about like trying to escape. If we go back to the tropic zone, it's only going to get worse because they'd theoretically be even closer. We've already committed at this point, like in my head. So it's just like it's this or death.
Is there anything, a piece of dry wood or something I can pick up and defend myself
there's some
with?
there was those crates, so there's maybe give me a luck roll, actually.
Okay.
I might drop my pocket knife, but I mean, I'm not going to do anything else in terms of like weapons.
I got an 09.
Oh, yeah, there's a crowbar that was left behind, probably to open those boxes.
And we have a crowbar.
To open the crates, so they left it, sitting up against one of the crates. And so, as you're looking up, looking up the path, why don't you both give me spot hidden?
Okay.
32 is...
I've been rolling good tonight. I got a 10, which is exactly an extreme.
Good. You actually notice with the extreme, you see, as you're looking up at the very top of the path where the entrance is, which is where you have to go to leave, where you came in, you see sort of something like moving behind the foliage of the winding path. At the very top, something kind of moving, amongst the foliage and on the path at the very top, almost as if it's waiting or patrolling.
What is that?
There's something waiting out there.
Here, take this crowbar.
Okay.
I kind of stay a little bit behind Thaddeus.
I'm going to extremely reluctantly move forward at this point.
Technically, this is the first time I've seen anything. So should I do sanity roll?
Sure. Yeah, you can. As he points these out to you, what'd you get?
Got a 59, which my sanity is 60. So barely.
So you're right on the cusp of where something's moving up there. Something's moving. It looks like it might be some sort of weird creature thing, but you still aren't sure that it's these sculptures. How does sculpture move? But you are alerted that there is a thing up. There is something up there that's not a human, that shouldn't be there.
Well, darling, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know if glass sculptures can move. So Thaddeus is afraid. I'm afraid.
My face has gone white at this point. Like, I am extremely unnerved, but at the same time, I'm recognizing like it's this or die.
Who's there? I yell up at the thing.
There's no response. You just hear there's, in fact, if you listen in for a response, you hear a slight clang of something moving.
Let's creep slowly forward. I'm going to pick up a rock.
Okay. So you got a
Open the-
crowbar and a rock.
Open the door. If he's really looking for a weapon, none of a crowbar, I'll hand him my pocket knife. If we need to pick locks, give that back.
All right. So you're gonna try to sneak up to these, or maybe sneak around.
Well, let's say we're
If there's any
within-
sneaking involved, I want to sneak.
yeah. But you say
All
it's right up by the door, so say we're 10 feet from it at this point.
Oh, well, it's sort of up the path from you, so you can avoid it by sort of trying to go around by avoiding the path. But
we still have to
Yeah,
get to
if-
the door, right?
right, yeah, you'd have to. They're in between you and the doors. You'd have to either sneak around them or go through them.
I'm all for sneaking, man. Even with this crowbar in mind, I'm like, ooh, and I'm just.
All right. I'm going wherever Thaddeus goes.
All right,
Is that
so
a stealth roll?
Yeah, you guys are gonna sneak around, but first we're gonna go back into the courtyard. But before we do that, we have been going through it. Do we want to do a quick break before we jump back into it?
Yes.
Use the bathroom. Yeah. So we'll do a quick bathroom break, and then we jump into we've got stuff with Tassili going in the courtyard, and then we've got Gunner with the hand situation, and we got our the two boys trying to sneak by. All right, we'll be right back. All right. Yes. So let's jump back. We'll go back in our order here. So we're back. We are going to return to the courtyard, where we are in the middle of a bit of a startling realization that perhaps the artist known as Tassili is not doing so good. So yes, you just picked up on an odd smell. You look around. There's the mostly inside here. You've got the everything that you would have as part of the, as I said, everything that you would regularly find in a hot shop. In addition, there is a messenger bag with a notebook on it. In addition, there's an annealer, which you would know, of course, from being a glass blower. That's where the finished pieces are put to cool very slowly so they don't break or shatter. And that's closed. The furnace, as I said, is on, and there is smoke coming out of it. He seems to be working on something right now. And there's all those tools I mentioned before. So that's what's surrounding you. And like I said, you can see that strange smell. And you can still see some sort of strange stuff going on. You can spot sort of out of the corner of your eye. You saw the others go into the mountain room, but you probably kind of lost them over the slopes. You can maybe see Gunner, running around, trying to do something, maybe getting his chisel when he goes over there, but, you're not seeing anything exactly from the sort of stuff in your way. But you can kind of still sort of see each other through the walls. So what would you like to do? Yes. Yeah,
Dusky kind of like reels away from the stench and the weirdness and looks at Mari and Humi and just like kind of a bit lost as to sort of what's going on, and kind of just looks at the two of them.
Yeah. Did you still want to be, did you?
I've let him go. I let him go, and just like,
he's like he sort of grumbles. He's like, I'm sorry, I have to work. You can help if you'd like. And he sort of gestures that if anyone wants to help him, they're welcome to help him, but he's busy working. And so he goes right back to, elongating the piece of glass that he's working on. He looks like he moved something into the glory hole, out of the regular one. He's working on some stuff. He's got the next thing ready. He's diligently working, just almost, like he's on some sort of autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we should
stop him,
do?
right? Like if he's making these things, we have to stop him.
We there's water in the
there's
pond.
The pond. Yeah. Maybe
I'm sure there's bound to be buckets in the hot shop, right? Like, water
for
buckets.
sure. Yeah. He has buckets, of course.
So I'll grab 2 big buckets, hand one over, 3 big buckets,
Mm-hmm.
hand one to, Mari, hand one to Harumi, and go and, let's put
fill him up. Yeah.
Right. Let's and then just splash it on him. And
or on his work or something. Yeah.
Well, like whatever he's working on, and
Just.
So, a few things. So you splash it on his work, and that works. That wherever he was tempering, it. In fact, because you splash it on him work, it cools and it shatters as he's trying to roll it. And he kind of jolts and realizes what you've done. And he sort of stands up rather angrily, and he says, What are you doing? You fool! You mess with things you don't know.
We have to go, Galen. If you don't survive, your work will not. You live long enough, you could keep making forever. But now we have to go.
He says,
for the greater good.
My work is for the greater good. I need to keep working. I will not let you stop me.
Not if you're dead, you won't be able to work. You'll die tonight if these things get to you. Leave with us tomorrow. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Leave with us. You could keep making tomorrow, the day after, the year after, the decade after. Think long-term, Galen. Think long-term.
He turns and he turns as he picks the punty up and goes back over to the furnace. And he says, "You don't understand. My gallery opens in 2 days. I'm on the forefront of something here. I got to make sure everything is done. I've got places to fill."
Ayumi, can we cancel the event? Can we push it back?
And she says, we have to go. I don't know if the event can happen. There's the body. We gotta go. We gotta see if he's all right. We gotta get the authorities. We gotta help him. He's dying over there.
I'm gonna snatch. I'm gonna go reach to snatch his messenger bag and the notebook, and basically like, you want your stuff? Do you want it? And like maybe run with it, hoping he'll give chase.
I mean, when you walk towards it, he immediately turns and he takes. As you walk over there, he picks up a pipe from one of the pipes that he was working with. And he moves over and he picks it up and he blows this powder through it. And this strange dark purple cloud, it sort of surrounds a whole 3-meter area. Unfortunately, all 3 of you are going to need to do con rolls for me. And I will roll for Ayumi. As he spits this powder, he's like, "Step away from my journal! You can't interfere!"
That's a failure.
41 over 55, success.
Okay, well, Hayumi succeeded. So that's a bonus. Hayumi's okay. However, you are unfortunately going to be doing all of the rolls you're going to do until the next round will be at a penalty die, as you are still coughing and just trying to get this stuff out of your lungs so you can breathe and see correctly. And so he has blown this powder at you, and then he's now moving to get his notebook back. He does not want you to take his notebook. So
if I see that, I'm going to sort of Downsky is going to put himself between the coughing, Mari and Galen, and just like push him aside or push him away from her.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a brawl, because he's going to try to push past you to get back to his notebook.
Dice.
You get a regular success.
All right, 42 over, what's my brawl?
Okay,
65.
So is it me?
I could spend luck to make it a
is it ties to attacker? Ties to attacker, right?
Ties go to the attacker, yeah.
Which
okay, so would be me, right? I'm pushing
you because you have intercepted.
Right.
So because you both got a regular success, you are able to shove him off. He gets rather angry at that. And he's instead going to back away from you for a moment. And he's going to pick up that punty that he just had, that he's set in the molten fire. He's going to pull that out.
Right.
And he's going to, it looks like you have a turn here as he's trying to set this up, but he looks like he's going to try to hit you with molten glass to get you from taking his notebook.
All right.
He's gone from trying to grab it to he's going to try to hurt you.
All right. So as he's reaching for it, I think Downsky can just walk up and punch him straight in the face,
I'll give you a bonus on that, because he's turned you to try to get this thing out of the fire, and so you know the focus it takes to work around a furnace, and you're exploiting that he is not.
Right. So and if possible, he'll try to punch him towards the furnace or glory hole or whatever.
Okay. All right.
All right. So the first roll is 53, but I get a bonus on re-rolling the 10 die.
Sure. Yep.
33 over 65. I'll spend 1 luck to make it 32 to make it a hard success.
Yeah, and I want to clarify, is your intention here to brawl him and do damage towards the thing, or would you want a combat mover and try to shove him like at the glory hole?
I think you know what. I think I'll shove him just away from the burning or away from the super hot
Sure.
pipe. Yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, the let's see here what happens to the punchy. All right, so that's good for that. So the punty goes flying with the piece of molten glass, and you push him away, and so that kind of goes up, and it almost hits him in the face, but he kind of dodges it. And he kind of hits the ground, and you've pushed him, and the hot punty is on the ground. The metal's burning into the stone of the courtyard, but it's not hurting anybody, and it's not melting him so far. But he is now on the ground, so he's gonna be, he's frail, he's old, so he's grumbling, you foolish, you. Oh, well, I love how I knocked my webcam thing down. He's you young artists are fools. You don't know what it takes. And he's trying to get up, and he's refusing to relent. Mari, you are at disadvantage, but you can still act. And Hayumi is attempting to get you out of the smoke. So she's pulling you out of the room. Do you want to flee? Do you want to try to go back for Downsky? It looks like he's got things handled, but
do I have the bag and his notebook?
You do. Yeah, he was trying to get a punty to get through Downsky to get back to you.
And Downsky kind of got between us.
Yeah, okay. So you've got his bag with his notebook in it, with his journal.
If I think Downsky has it in hand, I'm probably like letting my mom lead me away. So we're running back up toward the desert.
I mean, at the very least, you could be in the doorway and still kind of see him. So
right, okay.
So so Hayumi she helped pull you out of the gas. You've got the journal still. You're in the doorway. All right, and I think so. Downsky, he is, you've got him in a bad position. He's trying to get back up, but he's, you could, if you want to subdue him, you could kick him and try to knock him out here because he's.
I think I'll just slowly back away, and the punty is, to your point, like behind me, right? Kind of. Or
yes, it's kind of it rolled after it missed him. So.
Right, so I'll back away and then grab the punty, and then just so I have it on hand. So if he gets close, I can, ward him off.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to try to, keep hurting him.
So he's going to sort of start to try to get back up, but I think that's a good place for us to cut back to Gunnar, Gunnar, you're unfortunately have to take just one damage. You take one damage as the glass starts cutting into you, and it sort of sucks your arm in, and you have to sort of pull it back out, and the chisel is gone. You lost the chisel. Like that, it has been consumed by the glass. It seemed that this glass did not like that effort that you made.
Does the chisel seem to be somewhere in the layers of glass, or is it vanished? Or
it seems to have vanished. Actually, you can't quite see everything. It could have fallen like sort of below, like outside, but below you, and it's sort of just to where in like a crack where you can't see. But you're not. Maybe it bounced somewhere behind you, but it's not anywhere. Like it wasn't in your hand, and you can't quite see it.
And the injury to my hand, did it feel like burning?
It didn't feel like burning. This one felt more like. Was
it like the glass I had to scrape myself out?
It was kind of like it didn't actually hurt at first. It was just like this glass sort of warped around your hand, and it was like you were being pulled, and so you had to pull your hand out, and it was like you scraped glass on the way out, and so you've got a sort of cut along your wrist there, and that's where you took the damage. Uh-huh. And as you're sort of reeling by this, it's around then that you hear the commotion behind you, and you hear you see Mari and Hayumi. They're in the doorway now.
How's Galen? Is he coming out?
Mari?
No. He and Mr. Downsky, they're fighting. He's gone crazy or something. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, and Hayumi's like, I've never seen him like this before. I mean, I only just met him, but he was such a nice artist. I don't know, maybe he's inhaled too much fumes. I've heard of people, but they've never done something like this. And oh God, it smells in there. And she's distraught. She's just an art curator. She was not prepared to see this.
I can't seem to break the glass, and I'm going to go and look into the tropical section, and I assume I'm going to see writhing.
You do. So what you see in the tropical section is you don't see any writhing of particularly sculptures, but you see those stalks, the blue, ones that you saw before that he made that kind of looked like flowers that he had interdispersed in the tropical section in some of the places, those seem to be swaying as if kind of like they're not actively seeking you, but if you were too close to them, they might snap at you like a Venus flytrap or something.
I think we have, if you can think of a way to, well, see, I'm losing my mind.
That's understandable.
What if we just run through the mountain? What if we just run straight to the entrance? I don't know.
And as you're figuring that out, it's interesting. You mentioned that you look over to the mountain, and you too, as you mentioned, see this strange, sinister needles growing and sort of into these elongated dark points in the mountain biome. And you also notice that you don't spot your friends that went into the mountain biome as we cut to them sneaking. So let's see how that goes. Let's get some stealth rolls.
They probably saw me because I rolled my stealth roll a while ago and I got a 95 out of 50. So not a fumble, but bad failure.
I failed too.
We were
oh
not
my god.
Job. We're fucked.
No. I actually can't. So
got 99.
These things aren't perfect. I rolled for them against yours. And I rolled double skulls, so I got an 100. So Thaddeus, you step on a branch, and you see as the glasswalkers, there's a rock or like a branch falls and hits a rock and it tumbles into the water, and they're like, like their strange, cores with the tentacles sort of turn towards this rock that has fallen in the water. And Hades, you easily can sneak by, and Thaddeus seems to have stepped on a branch, but they seem to be turning the other way. You probably don't want to hang out too long, but somehow
want to go straight for the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my photos. I'm doing this is devil's luck.
So, and as you approach the door, you do see through the door there seems to be some sort of a younger, sandy-haired woman. And she seems to be crawling away because as you're looking in, she seems to be crawling away from something she's going towards the tropical section. And you see that there's this globs of molten glass sort of peppering her back and the back of her head, and blood trickles down her face. I need you to make a sanity roll.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Is 96 a good roll?
Hey, we were just talking about 0 so that's a 100 for me.
Okay, so that means that you're going to take the 6, which is when you crit fail a sanity roll, you have to take max.
The trend of me getting.
Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check to see if you bout. And then what'd you get? Hades?
I got a 96.
Okay, so you're gonna roll a d6 in that case. I wonder,
right.
Does the rule where 95 to 99 become critical fails if you're less than
whatever the
GM
sanity?
I don't know if any.
3.
I think when it comes to skills, I remember that
it is
if your
a thing.
skill is.
I don't. We'll just say it's not a crit because it wasn't a 100. But I'll look that up later. See if it applies to sanity as well. So. What did you roll? Did you roll the d6, Tom?
I got a 3. Yes.
Okay, so Hades loses 3. Thaddeus, what'd you get on your intelligence?
So I have a 70 in, but I rolled an 80.
All right, so there you go. She must have burned herself in the fire, or what were you looking at again? That's not important. Get out of here. Photos.
Doesn't
get out
matter.
of here. Doesn't matter. You push it. You're like that woman got mauled by a molten glass thing, but wait, no, what woman? I'm pushed. Nope, I didn't think about that. She just burned herself. I'm leaving. And so you repress it. And you do see, that you're able to see the entrance. So I assume, the two of you rush inside into the balcony.
I don't give a shit about this woman. Seeing that, it's just like, nope, not important.
Yeah. So you push through, you enter the balcony, which you remember from before. Assuming you're going to rush down the stairs or then wait for the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not waiting.
Go ahead and give me also a spot hidden, both of you.
Okay.
You can actually do it. Your choice is spot hidden or listen.
My spot hidden is better by 5%, so that's a hard pass.
So there's, go ahead.
I lost my thing. Where is it? Oh, my spot hidden is 60. I got a 43, so we're cool.
Okay, cool. So you actually notice two different things. So Thaddeus, you are more like let's get out of here. So you look out the front door, and out through the front door, through the glass, you see these strange, bulky figures. Their mouths dripping with molten glass, their eyes glowing a strange color. And they appear to approach the door, and they seem to be knocking or pounding on it like, oh, I'm sorry. I keep
There goes the camera.
It's dramatic effect as I knock my
The
camera down.
pounding is too intense.
Yeah. And then it knocks you out. It goes black. No, I'm just kidding. So,
it was the darkness.
yeah. So you see these strange, creatures that are seem to be mauling the door. But before you say too much about that, Hades, you also notice when you look up, the chandelier is missing.
The chandelier's missing. Is it turned into some monster?
Do I need to roll sanity for seeing those fucking things outside?
You've been through a lot. You can roll a 0-1 if you think. I don't have a particular one for that one since you've already rolled against other things.
I passed.
Okay, so you're good. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, sort of still recoiling from this, you do notice that there seems to be some glass shards on the floor. So it looks like it did fall, although not all of the shards are here.
How far away is the front door?
So there's something about the chandelier being
It's
missing.
the other side of the entranceway.
Do I see the big things outside that he saw?
You do.
I would point them out.
All right. I got a 94 on my sanity.
So yeah, you lose one sanity as you see this. Like I said, there's this molten sort of magma of some kind. Maybe it's glass. Maybe it's something dripping from their face, their eyes. This unnatural glow.
Trapped inside. What was Ivan and August doing with the water?
What's interesting, actually, you can glance back from here and see in the courtyard. You see Ivan decking Tissley in the back of the head. Like he knocks him to the ground. He grabs the punty. You can kind of see it just like, Tissley sort of half in the hot pot, half outside of it on the ground, recoiling. And you can kind of see, kind of the tops of them through the courtyard, through the glass walls.
Well, I'm asking Thaddeus.
Right, I'm just mentioning.
So my
now that you mentioned them.
the keeper is that, Thaddeus was somewhat out of it. And then in order to both properly recall and piece like 2 and 2 together with the water and the glass thing, could I roll an int roll?
Sure, you can give me an idea roll.
Yeah. Screw it. I'm going to spend 4 points of luck to succeed.
Cool. Yeah, he was, the others, they seem to know about art, and they seem to know that, water is what you use in cooling down glass blowing. So water seemed to be effective against this thing.
We need water. Water break. Water make them go away.
A restroom or a sink or something around here?
There is indeed a restroom with some faucets. It doesn't fill as fast as the spigots in the biomes, but if you had a bucket, you could. Yeah.
Can we run in there and get to the bathroom? It might not be a door that allows for this, but if it's some kind of door, can I slide the crowbar in to prop it to try and so if something tries to bust in, they have to break the crowbar? It might not be that kind of door.
You can. You're not sure how much that would help you, but
anything.
But more importantly, though, the bathroom has water, but you'd have to go back into the mountain biome to get a bucket.
Oh God.
There's buckets in both biomes.
This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. Could I take off my leather jacket and with the outside leather part try to get some kind of water in it to use as I'd have to get really close range to sling this at somebody, but is that a possibility?
You think that maybe if you got your leather jacket soaked and put it back on, it might, like, just maybe if they attack your leather jacket,
It's
provide
like
some
it's
armor,
not so like I'm putting
but
it back on. It's so like
it's not enough water. This is the thing.
okay.
It's not enough water.
Yeah.
I mean, it took like when Gunner and Downsky did it, they had about a half bucket full at least.
Okay, so that's like at least a gallon or so, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't. Okay.
What if
Damn
we took a whole bunch of paper towels and soaked them with water and had them as things we could
Yeah,
throw?
with those things outside. Hades, we're so fucked. We're fucked. We gotta get a fucking bucket. We gotta go back.
We're not. There's no fucking way I'm going back.
We're just sitting ducks, man. You know, you want to stay here? Take the crowbar. I need that bucket.
You could sort of hide behind the welcome desk and look out over the courtyard and see how that's going from afar.
Is that like right when we're cutting?
Yeah, I mean, if you have anything else to add,
is there a waste paper basket?
Oh, that's a good point. Trash can.
Give me a luck roll. Give me a luck roll.
Is that group luck or is that just him luck?
It was his idea, so
I got a 27 out of 60.
Okay, you're lucky that it is a wastebasket and it's not one that has the holes in it. It's actually it's a plastic one, so it's not like a full bucket. But if you filled it all the way, it'd probably be enough.
There you go. There's your bucket. I ain't gonna touch it.
So you are filling. So y'all are filling a wastebasket in the sink, which takes a little longer than the faucet. So meanwhile, in the courtyard, so it looks like he's going to try to get back up. So what's your reaction to Downsky? What are you saying to him?
I think, I'm holding on the punty, just like warding him off. And I guess if he does come close, then I think Downsky is going to whack him with the punty, but otherwise he'll be yelling he'll just keep yelling at Galen to ask him, what did you do to the glass? What's going on?
He's
is it in your journal? What's going on?
No,
what's in your journal?
They're trying to steal my secrets and take it for themselves. They took my journal, and he's kind of stepping to you, and you're kind of in his way, and he's kind of like he wants to get away from you and get to that journal. He's like, I improved it, all right. I improved the glass. He says in that grizzled voice.
Is that why it's purple?
Mouth.
Why are you blue? You're blue and it's purple.
I'm not blue. What do I look like, a Smurf?
Look at the mirror. I'm gonna get my cell phone and turn it around so he can see himself being blue. You're blue.
I look fine.
You're
fine.
blue.
No, listen. You don't understand. You don't know what years in the glass. In the hot shop will do to you. He's like, listen. I gotta get back to work. I'm not gonna let some bitch steal my secrets. He picks up.
Are you gonna get back to work, or are you gonna get your notebook? Because you have to decide.
He's like, I can't let them steal my. I gotta do that before I get back to my work. And he picks up.
No, but the work's more important. You just said the work's more important, so you decide.
A pair of metal tongs.
Oh crap!
And so
if he does it, I'm whacking him. I'm whacking his arms.
Yeah, it's going to be a opposed melee. You've got a little bit of reach on him here, but he's going to go for it. His melee is not the best, but
30 over 65.
Oh yeah, I got it. I got a 96.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can break one of his arms, maybe.
And so he tries to go with the tong, but you've got the longer weapon, and so you hit him. Are you hitting him with the blunt end, or are you hitting him with the molten glass bit?
You know what? I think I'm going to be holding the blunt end, right? Because the molten glass bit would be kind of. You can knock the glass off, but if you want to have it, it's up to you if you want to use the glass or hit him with just the pole. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to hit him with the Bernie end of the thing.
Okay, so in that case, it is going to be a D6.
All right.
Hold on. It's going to be a D6 plus. Yes, D6 plus damage. Okay,
so I have a D4 damage bonus. I'm rolling a D6 now. Yep. Got a 3 on the D6, and then on the D4, got a 1. So it'll be 4.
Yeah, so you get one of his arms and you burn into his forearm, and it's bad. Like the molten gas hits, the metal pulls him, and he really is like and let's see if he drops the tongs. Nope. So he's still got the tongs in his other hand, and he's still going for. He's like, my life for my work, and he goes to swing at you again.
All right.
Ooh, he got a hard success that time.
Do I roll dodge, or can I, or did my action happen already?
You're this is the next round. You both you both had a contested melee. You can do a melee attack back, which will be your melee roll for the whole round, or you can dodge if you want to get away from him and move a few feet. But
my dodge is atrocious at 22, so I'm just gonna hit him again. Yeah. It's like, stay back from me, and naturally I got a 91, so that doesn't really help.
All right. So in this case, he's gonna hit you with the tongs to get one hit on you.
Okay.
Let's see what that does. Does he have a? Nope. So that's gonna be a one. He does 1 damage.
It's like,
kind of makes your arm with
stop
the
it!
tongs.
Stop it!
He's like,
with them.
He's like, I wouldn't have to do this if you just let me be to my work and let me have my journal. And he's still, he's trying to, he's kind of trying to avoid the punty. Right. Now that he's a little closer, it's a little harder for you to re-establish the hit. You want to keep going because he looks like he's not stopping.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep fending him off, and I'm gonna yell back to I was
gonna say,
Gunner and everyone, find out what's in that journal. There's something weird happening.
All right. Yeah. All right, so we can roll again, and then we'll see how this goes, and then we'll go to the journal. So I think here, we can always 3 and out here if you win. Yeah,
23. 23 over 65. So that would be
because you needed to beat him, and so you did. So go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. And let's see if it's 23. Can I burn 10 luck and get a crit on him?
That just means
that,
max damage on the die.
It will do. It will do 10. You'll do 10 damage.
Okay. I probably don't want to kill him. Can I make it non-fatal, or is it gonna wipe him out?
I would not spend the luck if you want to non-fatal. If you want to knock him out, do not do.
Okay, then I'm gonna keep the 10.
Go ahead and roll.
And the D6, right?
Yeah, it's a D6 and a D4. All right, it's your 1D6 plus your damage bonus with the.
All right, D6 is a 4, and then the D4 is a 1. So 5.
Okay, yep. So he's gonna have to make a con roll now. Chat. All right, so here we go. Okay. All right. Oh, nope, he's an old man. And so he kind of reels, and you think maybe he's gonna keep going. Right. But it's that rocky moment where he's like, and his lights go out.
His lights go out.
That actually worked out really well. That was great.
It's because I tried to do the thing where I fall, but then I actually hit my table. So I forget how close I am. Anyway. So so you knock his lights out.
All right. But he seems alive.
He's got some bad bruises, but he appears to be unconscious. He's not bleeding out, but he might have a concussion. You don't really know. But he's not outwardly dying. And so of course you all in the front room witness this, but first the closer room is the desert room, which is still open. And so you all look in there. If you want to go run over, or you can take a look at the journal as he suggested. You do have that on your person.
Yeah, if Ivan said, read the journal, then I'm going to start flipping through it and see if I can find something.
I'm probably only going to hear the first page because I'm gathering materials, but
this is a journal entry. Halted my experiments with leaded glass. Surrounding the leaded glass and a coating of clear glass reduced aerosolization lead later in the process. Aerosolizing lead later in the process, but did not prevent exposure during initial glass blowing or aerosolizing during heating of molten glass. I don't believe that we have identified a safe enough process to prevent lead exposure. Could possibly return to the idea after further research and safety procedure development. Research on historic glass techniques continues. I received a folio from the Liber Ivanis, a portion of an incredibly ancient text unearthed in research by Darla. It seems to show some glassmaking techniques. If I can get a decent translation, this would be the oldest glassmaking I've heard of, pre-Roman for sure.
Here's a little excerpt.
There's like a
the original.
diagram.
Yeah, there's no. This is in a different
Right.
language, obviously, but then you can read the bottom here.
Translation is difficult, but Liber Ivanis shows the development of a powder. Nisvi Haya. This has a deep purple color infused into glass. The creator, Ivan, was a chemist, an inventor, more than just a craftsman, working on a test batch to see how it looks in modern glass.
There is a second page as well.
The purple Nisviahaya powder creates streaks of deep, almost ultraviolet purple in clear glass. I guess it was worth all the hassle and expense of finding that silver grinding bowl. Designing some new pieces to showcase this clear streaked glass among my bright signature colors. Initial tests show some smoking from the furnace. I'm working solo to avoid exposing... Sorry, I had to pop up. Solo to avoid exposing the whole studio. Adding more powder to the glass to enhance the color's presence. The infused glass cools very slowly, adding beautiful color and movement to the pieces, increasing the powder and blowing larger pieces to test further. More powder, more beautiful sculptures, more creatures to share. It looks like this powder is kind of also sprinkled on the journal a bit as well.
It seems that the powder and the fumes have gotten a little all over the workshop. You're starting to get the hang of. Or get the idea of.
Mm-hmm. He's crazy. He's crazy.
So about the first page through, I've got poor Mr. Mitchell's ladder on the shoulder of my weak arm, and the bucket to be caught up in the pond in my other hand. And I'm walking steadily through the courtyard where the air is better. At least until I get close, probably. I'm going to stop and scoop up a bucket full of water because my intention is to pour it down the chimney and put out the furnace.
Okay, interesting. Yes. So you are getting that set up. Downsky, you have successfully knocked him unconscious. Are you going to return to the group now that you've done that, or... was there anything else you wanted to look at about the hot shop?
I'm probably going to go inside the hot shop and see if I could find the source of the stench. Like whatever stank. Yeah. Like was it him that stank? Like he just not bathe?
You're getting the idea that it's coming from what was it? The annealer. It looks like is where it smells like it's coming from, which is currently closed, like it's sealed. So you could open that up if you wish.
Yep, I'm gonna see if I can find the source of the stench.
Yes. So
I'm gonna wear the thick leather gloves or whatever before I do that.
So unfortunately, it does rather smell as when you open it up inside. You do reveal it reveals the sickening stench is coming from here. A cloud of stinking hot meat smell is released, and you find the heated, blistered body of Taselli's assistant, Darla Benson, that has been stuffed inside here. She has globs of glass and burns across her back, and the back of her head looks like she was attacked by standing stalks. She's definitely, unfortunately, dead.
Sadie roll or?
Yes, I think you would do but remember that you can't, did you lose anything to the body earlier?
Which one? Bradley?
Bradley, yeah. Did you lose anything to seeing him?
Yeah, I lost 2.
Okay, so you can't lose more than 6 from both of them, but you would roll again.
Okay. Oh, wait. Failed my sandy roll.
Okay, so yeah, roll. Where was it? Sorry, let me. Yeah, so it says 1d4.
Okay.
But like I said, you can't lose more than 4 actually from both of the bodies.
And I got a 2, so lost 2 more.
Perfect. There you go. Yeah. So you've lost 2 from you've lost as much as you can lose from seeing those bodies, but
right.
It is definitely it is definitely not doing very well. And so it looks like you see now. We'll cut back briefly to Hades and Thaddeus. You two see. It looks like Ivan has knocked out the he knocked out Tisserly. Seems he is checking out the annealer, but you can't quite see or smell what's from here. And you do see August setting up a ladder. It looks like he intends to pour water down the chimney into the furnace.
Okay. Remember, we're actually in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, so your bucket of water it'll be full by now. So when you exit,
Right.
This is what you see.
Okay.
I say we're going straight towards the front door and throwing it on one of those things outside.
Yeah, and I assume,
Well, so you
given our
bring the
current dynamic, that Thad is taking the lead.
I'll open the door if you toss.
Okay, yeah, I'll do
the
that.
thing is, unfortunately, when you pull at the door, it's stuck. It's like the glass is warped or melted together, and it will not. For some reason there's no give. Like you cannot get this door open.
Well, then can I take the crowbar and hit the glass?
You can. So when you smash the crowbar into the door, go ahead and give me a dodge roll as the glass sort of warps, and it like you're surprised as the crowbar goes in and is launched back at you with force, kind of like a rubber band.
Have to worry about that.
No, because it's like he was going in and now it's going right back at him.
Okay.
I got a 38, which is I have to spend 8 to make it a pass.
Okay, so yeah, you're spending. So it very narrowly strikes you, and you just jump out of the way, and the crowbar goes flinging towards the other direction.
The glass is alive.
And you see that ultraviolet hue that you were noticing earlier. It's now more of a glowing violet with almost this black light sort of notion, like a colored and colorless at the same time, sort of is now even stronger. You see everything through this hue. Even like I said, the sun even looks this strange hue, as almost if it's an eclipse, as the sun is starting to set in the afternoon.
Can I take one of my potatoes, my paper towels that's wet, and throw it against the door?
Well, I was going to say
Sure.
that probably before we have to do that, I think Thad is going to splash the bucket of water at the door.
So yeah, I mean, you splash the water. Doesn't seem to appear to do much to the door, unfortunately.
God.
As this door was probably not blown. It was probably pressed.
Let's
Right.
see the others. I mean, we can see
Yeah.
them.
Yes. So
At
you
this
see
point-
them moving, and it seems they're about to do some sort of thing with a bucket.
Does the glass between them and us, look the same as the glass on the outside?
No, actually, it looks worse because as you notice, you see the glass planes and the awning that surround the courtyard drooping down toward the ground like bubbles or spider
Oh,
webs.
Jesus.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh, God.
And it looks very extremely runny. Like it's like you left molasses out for a while and it's a hot day and it's starting to drip.
Sarah, maybe look around on the ground to see if there's some sort of a underground sewage or maintenance tunnel.
Exit.
I mean,
Yeah, this
point
Give
we're
me,
kinda
why don't you
fucked.
give me an idea roll, and then we'll likely cut away, but that's where we'll cut back. Ooh.
I got a 16.
I got a hard pass.
All right, so you're looking around, but
I'll spend
Before you
1
finish
point
your
to make it
thought-
extreme.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect. That's good. Before you finish your thought, though, August, I'm assuming if uninterrupted, you're going to go ahead and pour water down into the furnace.
Yeah, set the ladder up against the
Now,
hot shop, and
I would like-
and I want to be cautious of the fact that steam's likely to shoot up out of it, so I
Yeah,
want
in
to
fact,
tip
let me
it.
Look, what you have here. So I know that I have.
I don't know if I have to stand on the roof to do this, or if I can do it from the ladder, but I want to be out of the way of the steam.
Go ahead and give me a. You have art collecting. Go ahead and give me an art roll, and I want Downsky to do the same, but with glass blowing. If you have that specifically as a skill.
But would I know that he's doing that? Like I have a
you're
good
watching.
idea.
I see him doing
Okay.
it
Yeah.
now.
Okay, because I have a good idea of what's going to happen if the water hits, but I don't know if Downsky would have seen him try to do
no,
it.
I mean, you were in that room. So it's not, yeah.
I got a 4. So
Okay.
I should figure out, bad things going to happen if water hits furnace. Yeah.
We're crazy.
Oh, wow. So you both, as you're bringing the water up, Gunnar, you realize for a moment, wait a minute. In Downsky, even more particular. You remember, Gunnar, being told about glass sculptures. You remember them talking about how dangerous the furnaces are, because inside the furnace, to keep glass art going, is molten glass that is about 14,000 degrees. So if you pour water, you're just going to splash water or explode water everywhere, and the furnace is not going to turn off. You have to shut the furnace down if you want that off. Water is not going to stop this furnace.
The water is also going to expand about 600 times
Right.
instantaneous.
My fear of avoiding steam like it was a hot kettle not going to work because it's going to be a hot bomb kettle.
And so it's good that you and Downsky had this thought, because that probably would not have been very good for anybody standing in the room.
So is it gas? Is it a gas furnace?
This one is electric, actually. It is an electric furnace. It seems to be hooked up into the system for the whole conservatory. Downsky would be familiar with these kind of systems.
He sees me going up, more or less. He sees me go up the ladder with a bucket. He's like, no, and I'm like, oh right, too hot.
Right, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off. There's a switch, or a breaker. I'm sure there's a breaker somewhere.
It seems like you're having trouble finding the switch. Like maybe Tisley had set this up in a way where it was just going and going and going, but you do find the breaker box.
Right.
So you are able to go ahead and you can give me an electrical repair if you have it. Otherwise, just give me intelligence to see if you are able to just shut this off, or if it's going to take you a little more finagling, rather.
Yeah, I got 82 over 70 for intelligence. I'm going to spend the 12 luck to know how to turn it off.
So yeah, you've never seen a breaker box like this before, but you really put your mind to it. You're like, I think, and you find the latch, and you just like, you're actually like, you know what? Screw it.
I'll turn everything off.
Yeah, exactly. You flip all the breakers.
Right.
We'll
like, I
turn the
don't
other stuff
care.
on later.
Yeah.
So you see as the lights go off,
Right.
the furnace stops. The smoke is still going, but it seems to be slowly dying out. It's a little eerie as the lights pretty much in most of the rooms go off, and so you're all sort of shrouded in the eerie violet, ultralight, black light glow of what is the sun through the sides. However, as the furnace is shut off, there is this strange sort of moment where it's like the haze lifts and you see the sun return to what it regularly looks like. Just for fun, why don't you all give me spot hidden rolls as you're glancing around?
Is that like everybody?
Yeah.
Double five.
Success.
Okay.
5. Yeah.
Whoa.
Got 5.
So a bunch of you
regular
have this
success.
moment. You're all looking around at this marvel, and you see in the entryway, coming through the doors, they had just outside the door, through the tropics. You all kind of spot through the walls. You found where the chandelier went. It's right behind the door, like it was getting ready to break its way through the doors and go for Hades and Thaddeus at the front. But it is now solid. It is now the chandelier that it once was, but sitting solid sideways in front of the door, as if ready to be shoved in impossibly. And it has frozen solid in this sort of slightly off-shapen from what it originally was, but appears to be a sculpture again. And Thaddeus and Hades, you're both incredibly aware that you just narrowly avoided an encounter with this thing, this humongous 12-foot chandelier.
But everything seems to have
I'm
frozen.
rolling sanity.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
You can go ahead and give a sanity if you'd like, just for the realization.
Knowing that I just avoided that, and I did pass, but
and perhaps if you want to roll if this is the first time you saw the sun, but other than that, it is now returning to normal. You're looking at the glass. And the glass walls starting to look like glass walls are supposed to look
Well,
like again.
as Thaddeus is standing there with his mouth wide open, I'm going to grab him by the back of the neck, and I assume the door is now a door again, and I'm going to pull him outside.
Yes, in fact, when you open the door, the door it opens easily, like it was never stuck together. And outside, you are met by a number of EMTs who are like, we got a call. We got a person down. What's going on?
Poison gas.
We've been banging for 20 minutes in here. You ran away. Why did you run away from us? We were trying to get you to open the door.
Poison gas.
I've got 1,000-yard stare. I'm not saying shit, but just rambling about.
Where's the man? Where's the man who wasn't breathing? He's probably dead by now.
He's in there, but we're hallucinating.
Who else? And all right, and so that guy rushes through. Another one takes you. He's like, all right, I'll take a look at you. And so some of the EMTs start looking over the two of you. The other one is running in to go find. He's like, is there anybody wounded? Where are the wounded? He runs and he'll eventually find his way to the group, and he goes over to Bradley and he checks, and unfortunately Bradley's dead. Unfortunately at this point, he says, oh yeah, he didn't have much of a chance. He would have had to been outside a hospital to survive something like this. I mean, it's tragic. And then, of course, you're all, if you're interested in getting medical attention, it is offered to you. How do you want to handle the aftermath? I mean, are you all just, I'm getting in my car, I'm leaving, I'm not, are you going to tell the EMTs anything? Are you going to refuse medical help? What's everybody doing?
My own take is I'm kind of passive at this point. Like, if they're trying to question me, I'm like unresponsive. But if anybody like eventually I might like ambiently, like a zombie, like walk to my car or something. But I'm not like, I'm going to be influenced by other factors largely at this point. I'm just like, I'm not here.
I'm convincing myself it was some sort of gas leak that we were all hallucinating.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, but a gas. But there was do you mean the building's heating? I don't think the heat was on. The furnace here the furnace is an electric furnace though.
That's why me.
Like Hayumi's like, yeah, it's an electric furnace. So
something is poisonous in there, and it was making us all hallucinate.
Oh,
Hayumi kind of looks to Mari. Yes, go ahead, August. So she's going to default to whatever you say. But
it
August,
was the cheese. The cheese was nasty.
No, that was not tyrotoxia. This is
it was the cheap champagne.
I'm sad to say that our artist was engaged with. He was using materials that he didn't understand the toxicity levels of.
Wait,
he went mad.
Mr. Gunn? Mr. Gunn.
Gunner.
Mr. Gunner. Yeah, he's like, aren't you the? He like labels your
from
hospital.
The hospital. Yes.
And it seems that I rolled a dice here, and it seems that these EMTs are offering to take you to the hospital that you are the administrator of.
That's excellent. Yeah, I did suffer a burn injury. There are some others who have been injured. We have to. The important thing is though that we don't turn the electricity on in that facility until I organize a team that can clear out the chemical toxins. All right.
But I understand there's a body. We've got to call the police as well. But quarantine if.
Masks will be fine. Just regular aerators.
You're saying it was an air pollutant that caused
air pollutant that caused a disorder that caused some violence and confusion. But the main the fellow in the back, Mr. Mitchell, just had a small industrial accident. I did what I could, but it was too late.
All right, that is indeed unfortunate.
Must have been overcome by the gas and fallen off the ladder.
He might have been one of the first victims of the fume. Yeah,
Glass. Like the canary. We'll call him the canary.
Glass.
We just need to make sure that the electricity stays off until we can clean up the facility.
All right, understood.
Oh hell, Thaddeus is trying to drive away. I'm going to go try to stop him.
Glass.
Yeah. So I guess real quick, Hayumi's going to look to you, Mari, about how you want to handle this. I mean, she worked here, so she's obviously concerned with what you found, but.
And I'm just putting the the book away, but like I'm not handing that over. But
Yeah, she looks to you, yeah.
I'll pull up the tears and just he attacked me. He attacked me. I thought he was gonna kill me. And Mr. Downsky, he helped. He was such a hero. He helped me, and he kept that man away from me. And just trying to play up the hysterics and Mr. Downsky's such a great man, and he saved me so that nothing comes down on him. Like for
it was self-defense, right? Yeah, and Hayumi. She kind of gets the picture, and so she, acts like the comforting mother. She says, "Yeah, you don't understand. My daughter was attacked, and then this, he had to step in." So she backs your story, and you leave out any journal or any weirdness or any cause for the commotion other than some sort of a chemical toxin leak. And so
perhaps if we need someone to, I don't know, continue the art show and Mr. Galen clearly is incapacitated. Well, I'm available.
Yes, I mean, if you want, you
have an event set up already.
Yeah, she's like, oh my God, we could do something maybe we could do some sort of showcasing the art of a fallen artist, and then the new generation.
If you're open for it, Mr. Gunner. Yep.
Yeah. Would you back that still? Would you not take out your backing of the event if we
not with this electric furnace, of course.
Well, yes, we'd have to set up a new hot shop, but we could still bring in local artists, and you could help them out, and
I think that actually Mr. Downsky and the foundation could find common ground.
All right. Well,
much appreciated.
Yeah, well, it looks like we'll probably have to replace the furnace, but yeah, we'll get that set up.
We'll have to replace quite a few things.
Indeed. All right, and then I suppose last but not least, Hades is approaching Thaddeus, who's trying to skedaddle away with his photos.
Thaddeus is currently driving his car, but he's driving it at about 2 miles an hour, like this.
Yeah, do you knock on the window?
Thaddeus.
I turn.
Stop.
I stop the car. I roll the window down. I look at him with the most serious eyes he's ever seen from me, and I'm going to say, I got what I wanted, and just fucking drive away full speed.
You're not in no condition to drive.
For context, what Thaddeus does as soon as he gets home, for one, the photo of Yumi Ono with those glass beings attacking it, I'm going to try and publish that as some kind of art piece. As for the body of the corpse, let's just say he has a VPN and a few shady websites.
Well, then. That's okay. That's a way to handle it.
Opportunistic.
Yeah, I mean, do you publish anything about this Hades Vandermeer?
Well, no, since there's not an opening, at least it's going to be delayed, and I guess I'm going to cover more of Ivan's stuff, which perhaps I'd like to think that I'm a professional and I don't make judgments based on whether I like a person or not, but he gets a more favorable review now from
that's good.
Before.
And we can leave the exact specifics up for you all to imagine, but we can assume that there's a slight delay, but with the help of the Gunner Foundation, Ivan Downsky and some other local artists still do the gallery. There are a couple pieces of Tassili's that did not get shattered, that like the chandelier, that are rehung or repositioned in a they're still part of it, but it's a lot less him focused. It's more the new, local artists and the new wave of sculpture and stuff like that. And so there's still a good event. In addition to that, you all are most assuredly scarred from this. However, because you stopped Galen Tissili and you saved Hayumi Ono, you can both regain 2d4 sanity each. And it's worth noting that on the down low, Mari Ono, you now have
I was going to mention that actually.
The ability to reverse engineer the powder of I think it's Nifsi Al-Haya, So you could recreate this if for some reason that you wanted to. You have access to that spell.
Mari is so traumatized by the event, she burns the book.
Oh,
no.
Not if I got a hold of her mom first, but that's
Signature
for another
move,
day.
baby.
Don't you realize
The smartest thing.
you could make these sculptures, but make them only this big
Right.
and sell
I
them
guess-
as pets?
It's also worth noting
This
that
is true.
Mari, you are smart enough that you recognize that what he wrote is that he used a segment of the Lever, like the
Inverness.
Inverness to which mentioned this stuff to do this spell. You're now aware that the Liber it does exist outside of just that, so you could seek that out in the future as a character.
And I read that aloud, so
Yeah,
August heard it,
Mhm.
Ivan heard. They know about it too.
Yes,
Oh, that's
you're
fair.
all faintly aware from the. You also heard from the ad. He did mention it in the ad as well.
That's true.
So you've
That's
heard mention of
Maria.
this strange book. Yes, but yes, Thaddeus just laughed it off. But so there is potential for these characters if you would like to use them in the future.
So did we miss anything in the story?
I mean, aside from a direct confrontation with the Red Chandelier, no, you got pretty much everything. It was pretty good. You kind of moved around, and so you didn't do quite the exact pattern, but I like that there's
cool.
this is a very well done scenario, and so there's if they go here first, you can put this here, and so it's like had you gone the other way, then Hayumi would have been in the mountain. Because you would have gone through the tropical, and then she would have tried to get out to the mountain.
Oh, from the three crates, and that's where the monsters would have come from.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah,
so it's there's ample opportunity for sort of flexibility and keepers to sort of do stuff on the fly depending on what your choices were. So
It was a lot of fun.
it's good. Yeah, I
No,
really
that
like the
was
scenario.
good.
No, that was fun.
One of those rats in the cage type ones, like Dead Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess just I'd love to hear your little thoughts before we wrap up. But I also want to just mention real quick that the building that this was a fake building that's based off of the real Franklin Park and Jewel Box Conservatories. They're very beautiful. You can look them up, see pictures, go visit them. They do events like sort of this not Cthulhu events, but they do art galleries and things like that. And it's very beautiful. Crazy that they made their greenhouse conservatories. All the walls are really glass like this. The art, some of the art that I showed in the pictures is actually the scenario writer says it's based off of the art of Dale Chihuly, which is some of the art in our background here. Some very wonderful stuff, very, very eldritch looking, a lot of them especially. I also included a picture of a UV reactive sculpture, which was made by Susan Leibold. That's another artist. And as we said before, this was, again, from the Bayat El Azif. So thanks to Gail Clendenin and all them for providing this wonderful modern scenario. And it's also adaptable if you want to make it, if you want to do this set in a different time. It even includes how glassblowing was at different points in history. So very good. But yeah, I liked it. I'm glad that you all seem to have fun.
Cool.
I
Thank you so much,
apologize if Thad was a piece of shit, but I designed him to be like
No, those are the best characters. That's yeah. I really like that. Good stuff.
Our players included Holly Buto, David Gasway, Billy Chung, Shems Sabin, and myself with John Dos Passos as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.